Let's say there's
if
a
there is
button
a
in front
good,
of you.
if there,
Pushing that button makes all cancer instantly disappear. Would you push that button?
no.
What the fuck is wrong with you? How's it going?
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So, my question is, what do you believe a slave is?
A person owned as property.
Okay. So they're owned as property, but what does a slave do?
That's all a slave is. It's just a person owned as property. That's
So
that
what
like
does it?
full stop, period. That's it.
Okay.
A slave is a
What does it
person owned
mean
as
in what
property.
does it mean in the Hebrew though? So the reason I say this is because we can read the modern Bible in English, and we have the word love, right? And love can have different meanings.
In the Hebrew Bible, it means a person owned as property. It's the
It
same
means
thing. You know, you can look to,
in
if you want scriptural
okay.
justification for that, you can look to Leviticus 25, 44 through 46, where it says three separate times in verses saying that you could own slaves, that these people are
Sure,
property.
sure,
It
sure.
says they're property,
So
you can give them to your children as a possession, for them
okay,
to inherit as property after you.
yes,
So
okay.
it's pretty clearly
So
talking about people owned as
yeah,
property.
so they are workers or servants, right?
They're people owned as property, they're slaves. That's the definition of a
Yes, but
slave.
okay. So the verse that you spoke of in Exodus is talking about the parents selling the child into slavery, right?
Hmm.
So do you think then, if, for example, you were poor and you had a child and you couldn't feed that child, but you knew there was a, let's say, a factory down the road that they were willing to look after your child, give your child work, feed your child for 7 years, and also pay you so you can survive, would that be a good option to have and a better option than no option?
Oh, that certainly would be a better option. Unfortunately, it's not at all analogous. So the verse in Exodus 21:7, when a man sells his
Yes.
daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. The daughters don't get to go out after 7 years. They're
Okay.
slaves for life. So the seven
Okay.
years part is not analogous. Exodus 21, 20 through 21, when a slave owner strikes a male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies immediately, the owner shall be punished. But if the slave survives a day or two, there's no punishment, for the slave is the owner's property. So let's make sure we're on the same page. Let's decide, or let's say that you
Okay.
decide that you want to beat your slave with a rod. You want to absolutely obliterate their back with a rod. What's the
Okay.
punishment for that if at
Well,
the end
then,
of it they don't die?
but then you've got to look at it the other way as well.
Wait, answer the
So,
question. What's the punishment? Let's say you beat the fuck out of your slave, but they don't die
yeah.
and you don't do any permanent damage to them. What's the punishment?
But wait, there's context.
Answer the question. What's the punishment?
Okay, okay, but let me just put some
Just say
context.
what the
Yeah, but yeah, wait there, because
please just
you're
say
thinking,
the
well, why are they
punishment for
being
beating your slave with a rod, as
why are
long
they
as you
being
don't do
beaten
permanent
though?
damage
Why
or
are
they
they
don't
being
die,
beaten?
is what? What is it?
Yeah, but hang on, there's a reason for why they would be
There's a
beaten.
reason why you're not answering the question. Just
No,
tell
I
us what
am.
it
No. Of
is.
course, I'm going to answer the question. But what you've done is you've limited it to for me to give you an answer that you want. But the idea is that there would be context to why that they would beat their slave. They wouldn't just wake up one morning and say,
What's the
"I'm going
verse
to beat
for
my
that?
slave." Well, it's obvious because you're not going to just beat your slave
What's the
because they
verse for that?
for what?
What's the verse that says that you can't just beat your slave whenever you want?
And there's many verses in the Bible that speak about loving people as you
Yeah,
love
could I get the
yourself.
one that's Leviticus or before?
Well, you got to take the whole Bible into context.
So sorry. Wait,
Love
was the
your
entire
neighbors.
Bible given at the time when God gave these laws?
Well, you can look at the Torah. It says
Yeah,
speaks about.
was the entirety of the Torah given at the time when God gave these laws?
What do you mean?
Did God
Which
reveal the entirety of the Torah by the time the Levitical laws were over? You
sorry.
said there was
So
specific prohibitions on them being
oh,
able to, and also I
sure.
will make note of this. This guy categorically did not answer the question as to what the punishment is because he knows that it looks terrible for his religion, that it makes his
I don't.
religion look
No. It
morally
doesn't.
monstrous.
I think if a slave owner
Just answer the
beats his
question. What's the
slave,
punishment?
there is no. It is a punishment. That's where you're getting it wrong.
Yeah, what's the
The
punishment?
beating
Where does it
is
say
a
that?
punishment, but the beating of a slave is a punishment towards the slave.
But what's the
It's
punishment towards the
it's not.
owner if they beat the fuck out of their slave but they don't kill their slave? What's the punishment?
There is no punishment because they
Sure.
are the ones who are permitting the justice in that moment. That's
Hmm.
like me saying to you, what's the punishment for a judge who puts a criminal in prison?
Is that just?
No, yeah, of course it's just.
So you
For
think
a
it's just that you can beat the fuck out of your
no,
slave
no,
and
no, no,
there's
no, no,
no
no,
punishment
no.
towards you? You think that's just?
Okay? Is prison just for a criminal?
Depends on the crime.
So it depends on the crime.
Yeah.
So yeah, same answer. So
Where does
it
it
would
say
be.
that in the Bible that you can't just beat the fuck out of them whenever you want? Where is that?
But where does it say they can?
It says that you can beat your male and female
No, no,
slave and
no, no,
there's
no.
no
Where does it
punishment
say they
for
can
it.
beat them for?
It says
Yeah, but
if you beat your male and female slave and it doesn't satisfy these criteria, then there's no punishment. They're your
okay, but why?
property.
Okay,
You
but
can
where
do
does
what
it
you want
say?
with
Where
them.
does it say you just get to
Because
beat
it
them?
says if these conditions are satisfied, then there's no punishment. So anytime you beat your slave
So
with a
what does
rod, as
punishment
long as
mean?
you don't kill them or
Hang
do
on.
any permanent damage to them,
Hang on. What does
then at that
punishment
point
mean?
there's no punishment, which
What is
means that it's free
punishment?
game.
What does
There would
punishment
be no
mean?
punishment for you doing it
Okay,
whenever you wanted.
what? Okay, but what? Why are they beating their slaves? Do you know why?
Say just because they want to.
Does it say that?
Yeah, it would be totally
Where does it? Okay,
permissible
where does
for
it
them
say
to
you
beat
can
their
beat?
slaves
Hang
just because
on.
they want to. It
Where
fits
does it say
within the
that?
criteria itself. The
Well, no,
criteria is
because
very straightforward. There's like a very clear criteria about what you can and cannot do, and when you will and
yeah,
will
but
not
you're
get
yeah, but
punished.
you're
And the
putting your own
criteria is
context.
that you don't kill your slave. So as long
Yeah,
as you're not killing
yes,
your
yeah.
slave, you can punish them to your heart's content.
But your issue is you're putting your own context into that
No, I'm
scenario.
not.
Yes, you are because
I
yours.
think I think beating
I'm
your
saying some.
slave with a rod is bad, actually. Can you say the same?
I don't think it's bad.
You
No,
don't
and the
think
reason
beating a slave with a rod is bad?
not if it's a punishment.
Okay, so you think it's
Because
so you
why are
do think it's
punishments
just to
there?
like
But
own slaves,
hang
for
on, hang on.
example?
Can you let me finish?
Okay.
Punishments are there to prevent people doing things against what they've been told not to do. So, for example, if I go to work tomorrow for a boss and I don't stick to the rules of that factory, for example, that boss has then got the right to kick me out of his factory. And then
Mhm.
what would happen? I might lose my home. I might end up homeless. Do you know? So
Certainly.
actions have consequences. Now,
Yeah.
they're not good. No dad in his right mind would sell a child into an abuser's hands for
Which
them to
verse
just
stops him?
for them to just beat them.
Which verse stops him? Cite a verse.
What do you mean?
What verse says that you cannot sell him to whoever you want? Or at least to any Israelites you want?
Yeah, but what you're doing right now is cherry picking.
How is it cherry picking?
Because you're taking one little verse out of a whole book, out
It's
of
a
the whole
monstrous
Bible.
verse.
Well, of course, the Bible's
It
bigger.
corrupts your ethics. Like just now you said that you don't think it's unjust to beat a slave.
well, I,
You can't have ethics on the Christian worldview
because I
because the
understand.
foundation is absurd.
Because I understand what the Bible's saying when it's saying about beating the slaves. Of course, there has to be rules because if you've just paid a lot of money for somebody, for them to come into your factory, if you like, and behave how they want, and maybe they start stealing, maybe they don't work for you, maybe they get lazy, maybe there has to be a sort of order that you have these rules and restrictions in place. And
There are
then
prohibitions on being lazy and there are prohibitions on stealing. These things are covered at other points in the law.
of
But sorry,
course.
wait, do you think that
They,
slavery was a morally perfect thing to institute at this point in the Bible?
we are all doing slavery today. There's no
Of course we're
difference.
not. I'm not
Of course
owned.
we are.
Who am
Who
I
do you
owned
work
by?
for? By the government.
Oh, what's the law for that? Which law says that the government
Your
owns
birth
me?
certificate. It's your birth certificate.
Oh yeah? Wait, so which law
Yes.
specifically says that because you were born here, the government owns you?
Are you free to do whatever you want?
You're free to do a lot of things as long as they
Are
don't
you? No,
violate
no,
the
no, no,
law.
no. That wasn't the question. Are you free to do what you
No, of
want?
course not. Because if
Why
you
not?
violate the law, then you
Who
obviously
runs?
can't do that.
Okay.
But why
What's
would
the
that mean
law?
that they own you?
Who puts the law in place?
The legislators. But why would that
And
mean that they own you?
who do they work for?
They work for a variety of people. In theory, they work for their
The
constituents.
government. Come
In
on
theory,
now.
they work for you.
If when it boils down,
If the system is functioning as it's intended, they work for you. But let's say they work for
But it
fucking the
doesn't, does it?
monopoly man. Let's say they work for like
Of
greedy
course.
president business.
Yes, like the
Why
Federal
then would it be
Reserve.
the case that they own you? Why would that follow?
Because you
Owning
can't do
somebody is a
anything
legal
without.
institution. And this is the third time you've ran from this question.
But I'm not
Why
running.
would the
I've
fact
answered
that
it.
laws exist mean that the government owns you?
Well, the idea is that it's not that we're owned actually,
Oh,
but Wait,
Cool.
hang on. You
Thanks.
gotta let me
Double U
finish. You gotta
concession.
let me
Yeah.
finish. No,
So we're
let me
not
finish. You
slaves.
not let me
Thank you.
finish.
Okay, go
I know
for
you
it.
speak, and you're not let me finish. It's not that we're owned as such spiritual beings, but we are being enslaved as mankind. But you can go against that slavery. Of course you can, anytime. If you want to stop paying taxes in the UK, of course you can stop paying taxes. You're free to do that, but the government will put you in prison.
Yeah, if only the slavery in the Bible was as metaphorical as the slavery you're describing.
You think
Unfortunately,
this?
it's not. The slavery present in the Bible is very literal. You know, it includes monstrous provisions about
Yeah,
owning
but
people
it's
and beating them with a rod.
yeah,
It's
but there's
deeply unethical.
no, but there's different types of slavery, isn't there? There's different
People
types of
owned as
work.
property, chattel slavery.
Okay, and that still goes on today.
Yeah, and it's wrong.
It's called employment.
No,
You
it
you're,
isn't.
you
You don't
you
own
yes
people
you
as property if you employ them.
you're a number. When you join a business, you become a
Does
number,
your
and
business own you as property?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I
cite me the
believe,
law right now. Right this second, I want to see the law that says you are the property of the business. I'm not
well,
using slavery in a
I believe that
metaphorical
I
sense.
believe the
If the
birth
Christian
certificate.
religion requires you to equivocate at a fundamental level, then I'm sorry, I'm just not interested in playing like extraordinarily deceptive word games where I have
I'm
to
not paying.
pretend like metaphorical slavery is literal slavery in order to explain the fact that my God permitted literal slavery.
Okay, are you for the death penalty?
Sometimes.
Okay, so you would justify the death penalty sometimes.
Sometimes.
So do you
Also,
think?
by the way, this is a pivot.
No, because I'm going to get back to the point if you don't let me finish.
Sure.
So if, for example, Nay, let's put yourself as the guy who owns the slave, right? Let's say let's say just for figure's sake, you have £1 million. A slave costs you, let's say, £50,000. Obviously, you're going to get your money back, but let's say you spent £50,000 onto a slave, right? You haven't got a government now you can enforce against this person. You haven't got the police who are going to arrest them for not working for you or for fraud, for taking the money and then not giving you what they want. On the other hand, you haven't got that. You haven't got a prison system that you can stick them in a prison cell for 10 years for fraudulent things, but actually you have a rod, and if they don't stick to their end of the bargain, you have permission, therefore, to beat this person
Their
because
end
they're
of the
not
bargain.
as a
You know, they got
deterrent,
sold into slavery by their
which was
parents.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what is their end of the bargain when they didn't sign up for this?
they get to eat and live,
Okay. And do
so
they
they
get to
get to
leave?
survive. They get to have a bed.
Can they leave?
I don't. It's circumstantial, I suppose, isn't
Presumably
it?
no, you know, presumably
Well,
if
if
your
it's
property gets
circumstantial,
up
they
and
could.
starts walking away, you're going to go and chase it down if you just spent like a large sum of money on it, you know. You don't get to leave as a slave. That's the difference.
I understand this, but it's not that God is saying this has to be.
He's
It's
saying you
God is
can.
no. God has allowed this circumstance for survival. He's given permission to allow this. It's not that God has put this law into humanity and says you all must be slaves and you all must be. He's saying, look, God understands that there's circumstantial things happening because of the law and the fall.
Why wouldn't they survive otherwise?
Because they're poor. That's why they sell their
Oh,
children.
yeah.
There's
Does God have the
poverty,
power to just give them resources such that they don't need to engage in a morally monstrous institution?
of course,
Oh, why wouldn't he just do that instead of telling them that they could own slaves?
because we're under punishment.
Okay, but why wouldn't God give them the resources that they wanted to
Because
or that they
humanity is under
needed instead of telling them that they could own slaves?
because humanity is under punishment.
There's into punishment?
Under
Under
we
punishment.
we are under punishment
Okay, why?
because we disobey God.
Who's we?
Humanity.
Who specifically? Did I? Did I? Did you?
No, but you do, and you would have.
But did you?
I have, and you have.
Okay, did the slaves?
Yes.
Verse? What's the verse for that?
All mankind have sinned. All have fallen short of the glory of God.
Prove it.
All have sinned.
Prove it.
Okay. You show me one person that hasn't
Sorry,
done
wait,
something
that's
wrong.
burden shifting. You said all have, prove it.
But I don't know
Oh,
anyone
you
who
can't
hasn't. I
substantiate the
know I am.
claim.
No,
Damn.
hang on. hang
Well,
on.
this is why you can't have logic on the Christian worldview,
Well,
because all you
okay.
can do is shift the
I've met
burden
a
when you
lot of
get like
people.
cornered.
I've met hundreds and thousands of people, and I've not known one
Do you
person
think the
that passes
miscarriages?
the passes the good person test.
Do you think
Now
like the miscarriages
now
that
you're changing.
happen so
Hang on,
frequently? Do you think that
you're
they
changing the
deserved it
subject
too?
now.
Did they sin?
You're changing the subject.
No, it's the same subject. You said all have
Well,
sinned. Let's say like a baby that was just
right.
born who gets crushed in an
Okay.
earthquake. Did they sin?
So what do you mean? So if a child dies
Yeah.
and goes to heaven, that's a
But I'm
bad
asking
thing.
you, did they sin?
No.
Okay. And are earthquakes a punishment for sin?
Yes.
Oh, so they're getting a punishment they don't deserve.
No. Maybe they're being taken out of the earth a bit earlier,
Do
and death
they
is the only way they
deserve
can
to die
go.
in an earthquake? Do you think all
Well,
infants who have ever
why
died
do
in an
you? Why,
earthquake
yeah, it
deserve to die in
depends.
an
If you, it
earthquake?
depends how you view. It depends how you view death. I suppose you
Yeah,
think death is a
this guy
bad
says
thing.
it depends how
So
you
you
view
think death?
death.
You think
That
death is a bad thing?
yeah, typically.
Well, Christians don't believe death is a bad thing for those who are going to heaven
Oh,
because it's an entry into a better place and a better lifestyle. See, the way the world sees death is, oh goodness, it's separation, it's a bad thing. But how can you even have good and bad if there is no God and no
so
higher
to be
morality?
clear, if somebody killed you, you would think that that's good?
For me, yeah.
Do you think like do you think the Holocaust was a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, in what sense?
In what sense? The
Well,
moral
no,
sense?
in what sense? In what
Yeah, the
sense? Because
moral sense.
well, see, because you're one-sided. Because you could say, it's 100% a bad thing. Murder, God calls it a sin. The Bible says that murder is a sin, right?
Oh, except
So
for when he commands it, right?
exactly, yes, that's correct.
Oh, sure, of course. Yeah, it's a bad thing,
Because disobedience is sin.
except when the all good God says that you can do it and then it's totally fine and then you can actually
Well,
just go wild.
if usually when God says to do something, it's for the greater good. So if it's something you don't understand, then it's usually for the greater good. So
Of
God might
course.
say, yeah, 100%.
They turned those babies into baby paste with their swords in Samuel for the greater
Okay.
good.
Yeah, but they would stop them rising up and then maybe fighting back. Have you
Why
ever
wouldn't
thought of
they
that?
just adopt them?
Because they would figure out that they weren't their parents because they probably looked different,
Who
and there would be
cares?
stories that said, "Oh, this man slaughtered your dad." How do you know that? There would be problems in the camps or wherever.
They have
Someone
nowhere
might
else to go. This is
someone
their
might get
home.
drunk. Well, they might things might change. God knows best. Just because we don't know all the
Yeah.
outcomes, do you believe you know better than God?
I don't think God exists, so trivially, yes.
Okay, can I ask
Wait,
you a
so
question?
let's say that you see a kid drowning in a lake, uh,
Okay,
and God's not saving him.
okay.
Do you think that you should save him?
Why is draining bad?
Answer
Let
the
me ask you
question.
that.
Should you save him?
Why is draining bad?
Wow, this guy's a dodger.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Obviously, I would
dodge
say,
number
of course,
two.
I'd say
Should
the.
you save him? If God's not saving him, should you save him?
Yes,
Oh, why?
because it would be instinctual to. But let me ask you this:
Because so it's just all instinct, so it's all
because I
subjective in
don't,
the Christian
because
view.
I don't get, because I don't know everything. That's why I would
Yeah, but
save the
God
child.
does, and He's not saving him.
Because he might be seeing a new Hitler arising. How
Yeah,
do you know?
sure. So if God has seen the future and He knows, He has
Yes.
determined that this kid shouldn't be saved, and on what basis should you save the kid?
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I make a mistake by
This
doing
guy
it.
doesn't know if you should save drowning children.
I just go off what
Okay.
the conscious God has given me,
Okay.
and he would know. God, the all-knowing God, would know that I'm going to save this child because in my mind, in that moment, I'm saving a child who I think is just an innocent child, right? Whereas God might allow it to drain because in the long run, God might be saving hundreds of children from a serial killer. See, God knows things that we don't know. We like to think we know it all, but we don't. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, if Jesus was to come before you right now, would you bow the knee?
Yeah.
You would.
Yep.
And you'd worship him.
Yep.
So do you believe he existed?
Yeah, I think he was a real historical figure. Yeah.
So why don't you bow your knee before him then?
Because I don't think that he was the son of God.
You don't think? Can you prove that?
I'm telling you, I don't think that there's sufficient evidence to establish this huge claim. It's like
Okay,
asking,
so-
like, well, why don't you believe in the tooth fairy? Well, because of the
so
lack
what
of
ev-
evidence.
so what
I can't
ev- so-
disprove the tooth fairy's existence, but it's a massive claim, which means that there's a very high standard for evidence, and that standard has just not been reached.
But what sort of evidence do you want?
Like
Do you want
historical
something?
evidence would be fine. Like if you wanted to historically demonstrate like the
Well,
resurrection, that would probably do it.
The Bible's historical. Why isn't that good enough?
The Bible makes tons and tons of errors. It makes science errors, history errors.
No.
Let's talk about it then. For
What?
example, the Bible says that rabbits chew cud in Leviticus. They don't. It says that rock badgers
How
chew
do you
cud
know
in
what? Wait, hang
Leviticus.
on, hang
They
on. How,
don't.
do you believe
Wouldn't
in
God know
evolution? Do
this?
you believe in evolution?
I do. Do you?
So what if they, no, I don't, but what if they
Okay.
used to?
Sorry,
So
what?
you believe things have changed through
Mhm.
years
Yeah.
and years, and then when you hear something has changed, you don't agree.
So, have you looked deeply into evolution?
I think it's a load of nonsense.
So, have you looked deeply into it before you decided that it's a load of
Yeah,
nonsense?
I've looked into it enough to know that the evidence is less likely than anything else
Of
out
course,
there.
yeah, sure. So you've looked very deeply into the evidence related to evolution.
What evidence? Because you have the missing links, you have your whole
So you
foundation.
probably haven't looked into it very deeply, is kind of what
But
it
okay, so
sounds.
evolution starts with a big bang, correct?
No,
What does even okay? Where does it start with then?
it starts with the very first single cell organism,
Which came from?
which came from abiogenesis,
Which came from?
which came from chemistry and particle interactions,
Which came from?
which are grounded fundamentally in the wave function,
Which came from?
which has necessary existence because it's a mathematical object.
Which came from?
It has necessary existence. Asking where it came from is a category error.
How is it?
Because it has necessary existence. It's the
Things
foundation of the worldview.
things have beginnings, do they not?
Not all things.
Name me something.
The number one.
It has a beginning, zero.
Oh, sorry. Wait. At what time did the number one begin?
Well, God created numbers.
Oh, when?
I don't know when God was creating
Sure.
things. Well, of
Yeah,
course, when
I
God
don't think
created
that one had a beginning.
in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
So, do you think
God,
that things that exist outside of time can come into existence?
yes,
Oh, sure. And would you agree that time is the progression of existence?
I would say time is predicted by the sun and the moon and the stars, created like a time clock, which give us seasons. And therefore, time is only something that God has created, not something God is affected by, because God doesn't sit under the sun, moon, and stars as we do.
Yeah. What do you think the question was?
Repeat it, please.
Yeah, of course. So the
That
question
was
was
the
just, do you
question.
think
Sorry.
time is the progression of existence?
Is it? And I told you what I believe time was. So
Yeah,
okay,
but do you
no,
think that it's like, what's your
no,
definition of it?
of time.
Yeah.
I had a phone call. Time is from the sun, moon, and the stars when they were created in the beginning. God
Time
created
is from
time
the
is created by
sun,
God
moon, and
and
stars.
stars. Yes. What do we base time
So
on?
wait, so prior to the existence of the sun, moon, and stars, did time exist?
No.
So there wasn't in the
In the
beginning?
beginning, yeah. Sorry.
Fuck, he blundered. Oh
Oh
no.
no, I'm correcting myself.
Sure,
It's a
please. Yeah,
fast-paced.
go for it. Yeah, what's your new definition of it?
It's a fast-paced conversation.
Yeah.
The first time time existed is in the beginning when God created the heavens and the earth. That's what I
Okay.
believe, and that's
But
when
what's your
they
definition
started.
of time?
What's my definition of time?
Yeah.
When you say definition of time, expand on what you mean a little bit more.
Which word are you getting tripped up on? Definition or time? You know how words have definitions? There's this word called time, and I'm asking what the definition is.
Well,
Is it of?
What do you mean?
Is the word
I can
of? Is
tell.
that the word that's tripping you up?
Well, when you say the definition of time, as in the
When you
numbers
say the
that
word time, what do you mean by that?
I think of time as something that's created by God for us to have seasons, so we know when to do things.
But what entity in the world actually is it?
What do you mean? What entity is it?
Because for me, it's the progression of existence. You know, there's like a timeline that just lists like all of the events and the sequence in which they happen.
Which who created that timeline that you believe?
The time is a fundamental part of the universe. Time always existed.
How do you know that?
Yeah, insofar as the universe is going to be identical to a mathematical object, the wave function, which evolves according to the Schrödinger equation, and the Schrödinger equation is well defined for every time t, that means that there's going to be a state of the universe that goes back infinitely.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You went quiet.
Sorry. So insofar as the universe is identical to a mathematical object, the wave function, and it evolves according to the Schrödinger equation is well defined for all times t, which necessitates that in fact time has always existed.
So you believe that though by faith, right?
No, I could prove
Is
every
that
single part of that.
so? You believe time's always existed, but
Yeah,
you've only been here for a certain amount of time, right?
yeah, but you can
So
prove that it's always existed via the method that I just used.
how do you know that?
I just explained it to you. Do you want it a second time?
No, no. How do you know that that's always exist? That time has always existed the
Do you
way
want me
you
to tell
see
you
it?
a second time? I just told you.
Go on.
Sure. So the universe is identical to a mathematical object called the wave function. The wave function evolves according to another mathematical object, the Schrödinger equation, which is the derivative of it. Um, and it's well defined for all times, which means that the universe must have existed at all times because it was changing at all times.
So when did you get this evidence that the universe is changing at all times?
That the universe is currently changing at all times, or that it was changing at all times?
Both.
Oh, well, I learned that the universe was changing as soon as I was born, and I encountered the argument, the quantum eternity theorem, that if there's a non-zero amount of energy in the universe, then it always existed because it was always changing. That's an argument that I derived from Sean Carroll's book.
So it's a theory.
Oh no, it's proven.
Okay, who's
It
proving
just
it?
follows directly out of the math.
Who's proving it?
Which part of it? I just proved it to you. Like I
No,
literally just
you
demonstrated it
said
to you.
no, you explained what it was,
And
and
I
you
gave
said
you the proof of it too.
you gave me the source of where you got it from, but who actually proved that?
That the wave function or that the Schrödinger equation is well defined for all times t.
No, that they
Yeah, Sean Carroll proved it. He did the
without
math.
big without giving big words, the universe changing.
The universe changing?
Yeah, because that's what you
Who
mentioned.
proved it? It's
Yes.
yeah, every single person that's ever existed or interacted with the things around them has noticed that the universe changes.
Okay,
You know,
so
all the animals before us even knew
I
that the universe
disagree.
changes.
I disagree. Here's
Okay.
why. So we have evidence of history that goes back 6,000 years. Everything before 6,000 years is prehistoric, right?
What do you mean? We have it goes
When
back
we speak about
earlier than that.
dinosaurs and things like that, it's prehistoric. We're talking about prehistoric things, which means the history we have is in written writings and things like that, and things made out of clay and cups and plates and stuff. Some people say 12,000 years, but realistically, we only got it for about 6,000 years.
Let's just look up what
Right?
the oldest writings were.
Yeah, but I don't trust your sources.
Oh,
Is
of
what I'm saying.
course. Yeah, sure.
But why should I? When they
Because they're radiometrically
falsify,
dated
when
and
they're
that
from the
stuff's
government, then
accurate.
they falsify things. So here's the thing. So when we have, for example, let's say 6,000 years of star signs that haven't changed.
Like what?
Okay, like we have the different star signs in the sky, the belt and all
Oh,
the
you
rest
mean
of
like
it.
the
Yeah,
like
you Uriah's belt
Aquarius
and
and like
all.
Pisces and
Yes,
whatnot?
yes, yes, exactly. But
Oh,
that
sure.
comes
Yeah,
from
why does that
that comes
mean that God exists, or what does that have to do with
no.
anything?
But what I'm saying is that the stars haven't changed, which means that the evidence we actually do have is the universe isn't changing.
Sir, you don't think that change is happening in the universe?
I, I, I can't see it, can I? And neither can
You
you.
can't see change? You can't see like the birds flying outside? You can't you aren't
When
hearing
you
the
say,
words that are coming out of my mouth? All these things are a change, big dog.
oh, I thought you was on about outer universe, not what is around us today. For example, I'm changing, I'm getting bigger because I'm
Yeah.
eating more.
Lots
So
of
yeah,
things
well,
are changing. That's all
of
I mean by
course, we are.
change is just
But you
becoming
mentioned
different.
so when you speak about the universe changing, I think of what's outside of the earth, if you like, and those things changing. And I don't think we can prove that.
Oh,
We
well,
can
first of
believe.
all, we
We can
absolutely
believe.
can. We can literally
Okay,
observe
but you.
the planets or the various like stars getting further away from us. Like the Big Bang is an ongoing process.
It's an ongoing. So you do believe in a Big Bang.
I do, yeah, of course.
So you said earlier you don't believe in a Big Bang
I
on
never said
Earth.
I don't believe in the Big Bang.
Ah, okay. So where did what exploded?
It's not an explosion. Have you looked into this
What's
too?
the
Have you looked
what is
much
the
into the Big
what?
Bang?
It's a Roman Catholic
Sorry,
theory.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Have you looked deeply into the Big Bang?
It's a Roman Catholic
I'm
theory.
aware. Have you looked
Yes.
deeply into it?
So it's a pagan
He's
religious
not going to answer
theory.
that question. Have you looked
Yes,
deeply into
well,
the
of
Big
course. Well,
Bang before you've decided that
I'm
it's all
telling you,
bullshit? Like, did you look into it?
I'm telling you, its
Whoa,
foundation
calm
right now
down.
as we speak.
Do you want to answer the question or do you want to keep on dodging? Have
It's
you
in a
looked deeply into the Big Bang before you decided that it was all fake?
deeply.
Yeah.
You
Have you
mean
like, did you like look
have
at
I
the
read
evidence for
lots
the
of
Big Bang before you
philosophy on it? Is
completely
that
dismissed it?
well? I know that it comes from a. I'm going to tell you what I know about the Big Bang,
Yeah,
and you correct
I'm
me if
aware
I'm
that
wrong.
it was originally formulated by like a Catholic priest.
Oh, isn't
Totally
that
aware of that.
interesting?
I just don't
Isn't
think that
that
that's any
interesting?
relevance towards whether or
Of
not the
course it is
theory is
because
true, because the
it's a
theory doesn't
religious
actually posit
theory.
anything supernatural. So I think that, and to be clear, I think Christians can do really good scientific work because they can separate their religious dogma from the science itself. You know, they can put forward an understanding of the universe that has nothing to do with God, and then it can be either true or false, and we can evaluate the evidence as such.
Yes, but you don't. The problem is the Big Bang has no foundation. It has no foundation
What do you
because,
mean?
well, if it created the universe,
It
where
didn't.
was it?
That's, I don't believe that it
It
did.
didn't. So you just spoke about an expanding universe
Yep.
that came from a Big Bang.
No, I didn't say it came from the Big
Yes, you
Bang.
did. Yes,
No,
you
I didn't.
did.
I said the universe always existed.
And you said that it's. Wait there. You said it. Does it always exist, or did it come from a Big
I
Bang?
never
Kind
said
of
that it
both.
came from the Big Bang. I said the Big Bang
You.
happened and the universe has always existed.
Oh, so the Big Bang was within the
Yeah,
universe.
correct.
So how did it make the universe? Or
I
are you
don't think
saying it
that it
didn't?
did make the universe. You should
So
try
where did it?
listening.
Oh, okay. So where did the
This
universe
guy
come
is
from?
at like a severe tracking deficit. You're in debt to
Because
tracking.
I just think you're all over the shop with your
You've
beliefs, and
rallied a substantial tracking debt during this
I think you've tried to
conversation.
make I think you've tried to make yourself an argument that tries to like disagree with God, but actually you go against a lot of the science that's out there.
Oh, which ones?
But the ones that say that the Big Bang actually created the universe,
Oh,
that were
yeah,
in
let's look at the
the
scientists
ones
now. The
that were
scientists that
in
you
so
dismissed,
they
by the way.
change.
So this
So
was a
science
survey of
changes.
physicists. The majority opinion, look at the 68% one. The
That's
Big
fine.
Bang is a
But
theory that says the universe evolved from a
theory,
hot,
a
dense state
supposition.
that says
Ooh, a man's
nothing about
idea.
whether or not there was an absolute beginning of time or not. So before we move on to the you misunderstanding the word theory, can we
Oh, of
acknowledge that you were
course.
just completely wrong about this state of science?
No, your science is always wrong, and that's why it has to
So,
change.
so to be
That's why.
clear, you
How old's the
disagree that the
Earth?
majority of scientists don't think that the Big Bang was the start of time?
I disagree.
Okay, so what's your refutation of the survey that's literally right in front of you that says that the
Okay,
majority of scientists do in fact believe
because
this?
I think the majority of scientists are actually theists, not atheists.
Okay, so do you think that the survey that's sitting in front of you is just a lie? Do you think it's just
Yes,
made up?
yes.
Oh, okay. What's the evidence for that?
What's the evidence the Bible's made up?
Yeah, the fact that it gets a ton of shit wrong. Like it says that rabbits
Well,
chew
that's
cud, that
science.
rock badgers chew cud. It says that the Earth is like 6,000 years old. That's just false. Says outer space is water. That's just false. Says that all women bleed the first time that they have sex. That's just false. Says a ton of false things.
No,
That's
it
the evidence
doesn't.
that it's
It
made
just,
up.
it,
So,
it
and
just,
and notice. So he provided zero evidence that my survey was made up. He asked me for evidence the Bible was made up. I fucking demolished it with evidence. Gave
no, no,
multiple
no, no,
pieces of
no.
evidence.
No, you
So
didn't. You just
before
said,
we move
a
on to
rabbit's going to
discuss the
chew the cud.
evidence, before we pivot away from this, can I just get an answer? What's your evidence that the survey is made up?
I just said most scientists are theists, not atheists.
Who cares?
But that would mean that they don't believe in the Big Bang.
False. Most
Why?
scientists, at least the ones that have more than like 60 IQ points, find ways to reconcile their faith if they
Oh,
have one with the science itself. You know, they don't sink to your level of science denial. For example, like a common position, I don't think that there are a lot of theistic cosmologists, but a common position among those who are theistic
yes,
cosmologists, people like Luke Barnes, for example, they
yes.
think that God caused the Big Bang, but they don't let that affect any of the real deal legitimate scientific research that they do. They publish good research that's independent of their belief of God, and they find a way to reconcile the Big Bang with God.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. They're wrong for doing that.
Okay, so you would say, so this is a message to all you considering Christians from Way to Life Ministries. If you value science, Christianity is not the religion for you. You can't reconcile science with Christianity, is what Way to Life Ministries is telling you. So to any of those people who are thinking about converting, keep that in mind. You need to give up science according to Way to Life Ministries.
You need to give up pseudoscience. The same
Oh,
science.
sorry. What's the pseudoscience?
So, 1 minute doctors are promoting cigarettes on the TV, then the next minute they're saying that cigarettes cause lung cancer. We don't need to trust science with everything we've got, because science a lot of the time gets it wrong and changes all the time.
And that's really good. So that's actually really good, because guess who's doing the falsifying of science? Other scientists. The reason that we know we're wrong is because we kept doing science. You're confused. Science is not a static state. Science is a process. It's an ongoing process where you're constantly trying to disprove the current consensus, and in doing so you end up figuring out that the conclusions that were ill-formed in the first place, the conclusions from the tobacco industry saying that science is really good, we actually disproved that by doing more science. You can do more science to root out all of the bad science. Whereas the Bible, wait, calm down, mouth breather. Whereas on the other hand, the Bible gets it wrong, and the Bible is wrong forever. It's wrong forever. It says that rabbits chew cud, wrong forever. Says all women bleed the first time they have sex, wrong forever. Says that rock badgers chew cud, wrong forever. Says the earth is 6,000 years old, wrong forever. Says that humans are 6,000 years old, wrong forever. It's wrong forever about all of these things, and it can't fix itself, whereas science can. That's why science is a better methodology than just dogmatically believing in a religion.
No, it's not. And obviously you have to also study when it comes to the Bible, because certain things are in the Hebrew that we would have better understanding of certain words. We're trying to break down a language into English, which is a man-made language, which makes it then difficult for us to always have and articulate everything that is written in the original.
Yeah, let's pick one verse and talk about it. So let's take the verse about rock badgers chewing cud.
But I got you on something a minute.
Oh, I got you. He says, trying to wriggle his way out of the bear trap.
No, wait there. No, because we're still in the conversation.
Yeah, let's just talk about the Bible inaccuracies. This guy doesn't want to talk about the Bible. He's scared of the fact that he knows that the Bible says false things. So the verse that I would love to talk about is just Leviticus 11:4, where it says that rock badgers chew cud. The problem is that that's just false. Rock badgers don't chew cud. So what would you make of the fact that this is false?
Why are you talking your way out of the situation?
I'm not talking my way out of the situation. I'm talking my way directly through you.
Okay, so
we just plowed through the Bible while defending science. It was cool and based. So what's your refutation of the fact that the Bible says a false thing?
I'll deal with that now. But can I make a point about what you said a minute ago?
I'm afraid that we're probably never going to do it because you're running at Mach 7.
No, I'm
then let's talk. If you're not running, then let's talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
So
when you said
Leviticus 11:6, let's read the verse.
Hang on.
If you're not running from it, then let's just read the verse.
No, you're running.
This guy is literally fucking terrified of actually reading the verse.
I'm not terrified.
The rabbit, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is unclean for you. That's the one for the rabbit. And then, what is it? 5. The hyrax, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is unclean for you. So it says that the rock badger chews cud. Do you think rock badgers chew cud?
Wait, you're quick enough to say
you're choking on my rhetorical dick, dude. Lock in.
I think that you're running because you know that I caught you out on something.
Sorry. And are you just going to use this as a pivot away? Do you want to even attempt to defend the Bible?
Yeah, yes, I do want to use it to pivot away. And then
wait. So now that he admits it, I'm just going to fucking harp on this way stronger. So now that he admits that he's just using this to pivot, I guess all that's left to do is just rhetorically blow you the fuck out. So it says clearly right here, the hyrax, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is unclean to you. Let's do a quick, easy Google search. Do rock badgers
he doesn't want to deal with the fact that science does get things wrong. Like when the doctors
No, rock badgers do not chew cud.
But then
why is there a scientific inaccuracy in the Bible, bud?
We're allowed to not
why is there a scientific inaccuracy in the Bible? Lock in.
A scientific inaccuracy according to whom?
According to, I'll show it to you.
According to scientists who get
It says
things
that it
wrong all the
chews
time.
cud,
Maybe
and
they
then
did.
we can just
Maybe
give it a
they do.
goog.
Hey,
Rock
I'm not-
badgers don't chew cud. That's false.
Have you ever watched a rock badger eat?
Yeah. Also, by the way, there's
Sure,
literally
yeah.
videos of them on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can just look it
Okay,
up.
it must be true then.
Well, you can just look it up. You asked me if I have, and I said
Someone
yes.
said it,
He
and
didn't
it
like
must
that
be
answer,
true.
so now he's getting pretty upset.
Well, no, it must be
Calm
true.
down, mouth
because
breather.
You spend all your life observing badgers. Of course you do.
I didn't
No,
say
you take
that.
man's-
That's a
no,
straw man of what I
no,
said. You
no,
asked me if I've
no,
ever
you
observed
take
it. I
man's
said
word
yes, I've
for it,
seen a
of
YouTube
course.
video.
You take man's word for everything.
Well,
That's
I
your
can literally
problem.
just see the
Well,
rock
I'm
badger
saying
chewing
that-
cud. Do you think rock badgers chew cud?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Either they do or they don't. Which one is it?
I don't know.
Either
If
they
the
do or
Bible
they
says
don't.
do,
Which one is it?
Well, I'll assume if the Bible says they do, they do.
Oh, that's just false. So
Is it though?
this is why science
According
is so
to
much
who?
better than the Bible.
According to who?
Because when
According to the
science
scientists
gets
that
something wrong, it
promoted
can update
cigarettes?
itself. But the Bible says a false thing, and it's just wrong forever. It's wrong forever, and it can't fix itself.
Is it though?
It certainly is. Yeah.
Is it though?
Yeah. You're literally affirming a direct, provable scientific falsehood. Do you think rabbits chew cud?
If the Bible says so, then they do. Yes.
How do they chew cud if they only have one stomach?
I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe-
sure. Another
maybe
divine
maybe
mystery.
maybe
They don't
things
chew
that-
cud. That's just
I
false.
do-
They can't
well, I
even
believe in
regurgitate
I
things.
believe-
They
I
don't.
believe
They
in
completely
adaptation.
lack a gag reflex. How could they possibly chew cud?
I believe in adaptation.
Yeah. So do you think that
don't-
you do believe in evolution? You just think it happened at like light speed?
No. There's a different type of evolution, though, isn't there?
So why wouldn't we see
micro,
remnants
macro,
of
and
like
all
a
the rest of
second
it, right?
stomach if that's what happened?
Sorry.
Why wouldn't we see remnants of a second stomach in rabbits if that's what happened?
Okay. What do you believe chewing the cud is?
Yeah, chewing cud is regurgitating partially digested food from your stomach.
Okay. So
Rabbits don't
why
do
can't
that.
we do that? Let me just check that out.
Please.
They regurgitate partially digested food in little clumps called cuds.
Oh,
And chew
what's the
it a lot more.
source?
Creation.com.
Creation.com.
Okay.
But they do
Why
regurgitate.
is that not a good source? Is it because it doesn't go with your bias?
Creation.com, what's the article?
It came up when I Googled it then. Do rabbits really chew the cud or something? 2 seconds, I have to go back. Do rabbits chew the cud? Creation.com, it should come up.
In modern English, animals that chew the cud are called ruminants. They hardly chew their food when first eaten, but swallow it into a special stomach where the food is partially digested. Then it is regurgitated, chewed again, and swallowed into a different stomach.
So, what if your science has changed the
Rock
terminology?
badgers and rabbits are not ruminants in
Nah.
this modern sense.
What if
This
your
article disproves you.
scientists- What if your
The
scientists...
article literally disproves you. It says that they don't do that. You lied.
No, that's not the same one.
It is. Wait, what's the name of the
I'm not
article?
on that.
Because this article
That's not the one I'm on.
is just titled "Do Rabbits Chew the Cud?"
Bible be- Yeah, that's not what I'm on.
Sure. What's
I'm
the name of your article? Let's check your article.
I think it's creation.com.
Yeah, I'm on creation.com
Yeah, but why am I getting a different screen to you then?
because you're lying.
No, you're on Creation Ministries.
I'm on creation.com, big dog.
Answers in Genesis, sorry. I do apologize. It come up as, I do apologize. It's answeringenesis.org.
Answers.
In Genesis.
You got your nonsense sources confused.
I apologize. Yeah, but I'm human.
Rabbits chew cud. Contradictions. Do rabbits really chew cud?
Yeah, I think that's, do rabbits really chew cud? Question.
The Bible clearly states that rabbits chew the cud. Their observation seems to show this isn't true. One of those rabbits chew the cud. Is it going to say that they regurgitate their food like you said?
Read it.
In modern scientific classification systems, animals that chew the cud are called ruminants. Cattle, sheep, deer, and giraffes are ruminants. Ruminants have 4 stomach compartments. They swallow their food into one stomach compartment, where food is partially digested. Then the food is regurgitated back into the mouth, chewed again, and then swallowed into a different stomach compartment. This process is called rumination. Obviously, rabbits do not share the digestive anatomy of modern ruminants. So it's saying that they don't do that.
Okay, keep reading.
It literally says that they aren't ruminants. That's it.
Yes, but you've got to keep reading.
So wait, to be clear, do you acknowledge that it says, one, in order to chew cud, you need to be a ruminant, and two, that rabbits aren't ruminants?
Yeah, okay.
Then they don't chew cud.
No, but you've got to keep reading.
So wait, do you acknowledge that rabbits don't chew cud?
I think that the way that it's seen...
Do you acknowledge that rabbits don't chew cud?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, I think that science can change the way things mean as well. So, like, how we can understand things today might have a different meaning 100 years ago. So chewing the cud might have had a different meaning to what science had given it today. And the reason scientists might be changing things today is to suit an agenda.
Oh, well, let's just check. So Leviticus 11:6, Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. Also, I believe animals were bigger back then to what they are today. I believe things were a lot bigger.
Okay, well, we checked the Hebrew. Turns out, the cud.
Okay. So then I believe that they did. And maybe they do.
They don't.
I don't. Well, maybe they don't, but maybe they did.
Okay, then we would see a remnant of their stomachs.
Why?
Because they would need 4 stomachs in order to chew the cud, and they only have 1.
Well, how do we know there wasn't a different type of rabbit back then that could do it?
Because it says rabbits.
Yeah, but we have different, of course, we have different breeds of dogs and cats today. We would call a lion a cat, but we'd also call feline, and we'd also call a cat that we have in our house a feline. Now, if we was to say today, does your house cat bite the neck of a zebra? You would say, of course not, that's stupid. Felines, but then the felines that could be lions would bite the neck of a zebra.
Okay. Would you have any evidence at all that there was these types of rabbits that existed? Because it sounds like you're just inventing like a new species in order to salvage the book that you already believe in.
No, but what I'm saying is there's possibilities to show that this could be true and not a lie. You can't just use that as
But what's the probability of that?
Well, I just explained. Probability, I don't know. But
probably pretty low.
I bet it's a lot lower than a random explosion happening for no reason.
Well, that's also not what the Big Bang is.
What's the probability of the Big Bang?
I'm a necessitarian, so I'm going to hold that it was just necessitated by laws of physics. Also, given the fact that very likely the universe goes through big bounces and big crunches, as is indicated by the evidence.
Laws need a lawgiver.
Extraordinarily likely.
Laws need a lawgiver.
Ooh, laws need a lawgiver. Unfortunately, that's not going to track insofar as the laws of physics are just going to be representative of the way systems evolve over time.
Okay. When you say the laws of physics, do you mean things like gravity?
Like the symmetric relations between quantities.
I don't believe gravity's real.
Okay.
Okay. I believe everything's electromagnetic, and there's buoyancy and density. Yeah, electromagnetism.
Sure. So why would it be the case that you experience less gravity when you're at a higher altitude?
Because you're less closer to the Earth.
And which of the forces that you described, which of those would account for that?
Electromagnetism.
I'm so sorry. So, okay, let's pull up the electromagnetism equations.
Okay. I'm not saying that I'm totally.
What's the source of like magnetism that we're drawn towards?
Well, I just know it as electromagnetism.
Okay, but what's the electromagnetic thing that we're drawn towards?
What's the source? I don't know. The same way you don't know what gravity is what that is that's pulling us.
I mean, if you want, we can just ask some physicists.
What? About electromagnetism?
Hello.
Yeah, about electromagnetism, gravity, we can get all of our pressing physics questions answered.
Okay.
I would be happy.
Okay.
What do you make of the prospect that the reason why you weigh less at like a high altitude place, like on top of a mountain in Colorado, is because of electromagnetism, Quantonaut?
Would it be?
Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense. And one way we can really easily disprove this is by changing the electric charge of an object. Say you can use like a Van de Graaff generator. That's the thing where if you put your hands on it, all your hair sticks on end. That doesn't change your weight. But if it was electromagnetism, then that would extremely change your weight and maybe even reverse it entirely.
Well, you
But
have
obviously, that doesn't happen.
You also have density and buoyancy, right?
That's not a force.
No, but
Buoyancy is an emergent force from gravity.
But no. It can be used.
And density is not a force. It doesn't even have a vector. It's just a scalar quantity.
Of course, but it can also be density and buoyancy. Just because there's gravity.
How do you calculate buoyancy? Do you know what the formula is?
No.
That's obvious.
Well, isn't buoyancy like I think
the weight.
Isn't it literally just like a thing that comes out of like the third law? Like
So
when you like push
it
against
comes out
like
of
all of
gravity,
this like water or
specifically.
whatever, like the water just pushes back.
So if you have
It's literally from the gravitational force of the displaced medium.
okay, so why doesn't a helium balloon fall to the ground?
Because the air around it is being pulled to the ground more strongly than the helium is.
So,
And it pushes the helium out of the way, and therefore the helium goes up and the air goes down.
no, but what about the plastic within the balloon? That doesn't get pulled down.
It does. It's just it doesn't get pulled down as strongly as the air around it.
You let go of a helium balloon and it goes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's still getting pulled down a little bit. It's just that there is a force pushing up that is greater. The net force is up, but there is still a force down.
So
This is just how you add forces together.
So gravity. So a helium balloon is stronger than the gravity that holds down the oceans. Is that what you're saying?
It's not stronger. It's
Well, of
the
course it
gravitational
is.
pull of the air around it that is stronger.
The gravitational pull of the air around it. So air has a gravitational pull.
Absolutely, air has weight.
Can you prove that?
Yes.
not
When you
that
go
air
up to a
has
mountain,
weight.
the air gets thinner.
So
That
How does
means
that
the air is getting pulled to the ground. In fact, you can see this in
How
more
do you
extreme
know
cases
that?
with
How do
dense
you know
gases such
it's
as
less
sulfur-hexafluoride, where you can literally pool sulfur-hexafluoride in an open container because it's getting pulled to the ground very strongly.
okay, so answer this then. If the atmosphere is gases, how do you have a gas? How do you have gas pressure without a container?
Yes, it does have a container. That container is gravity.
What, next to a vacuum?
Absolutely, why not?
Because it would all be sucked out slowly, or even not even
Not
slowly.
if there's a force pulling it back in.
But we have forces pulling things out as well. According
What's
to
that
your
force?
theory. Well, according to
the
your,
force?
I believe.
What's the
No,
force?
I don't believe that. You believe that. Gravity. You
Well,
believe
what's
in
the force?
what?
What's the force you say pulling it out?
I don't believe in that. I'm saying this is what you guys believe.
What force do you think I believe that would pull it out?
I believe you believe in gravity.
That would pull it in, not out.
Well, it would pull it out if other things are pulling things out and pulling things in within.
What force would be pulling it out?
So if
I believe that there is a force pulling it in. I don't think there's a force pulling it out.
does it mean
Suction
that
is not a force.
Well, also,
But it's funny-
I took the liberty of drawing a diagram. I hope this helps, right? So the
So how
vector
does
from the
the- okay,
displacement
hang
of the
on, hang
air
on.
that goes in
Hang
the
on.
upward direction is more
the
than
moon-
the weight of the balloon going in the downward direction. So hopefully that clarifies some things.
so you
Excellent
believe
free-body diagram.
so
Thank
so
you.
you believe then that the moon, the gravity of the moon is strong enough to pull the tides, but not the gases.
It does pull the gases a little bit.
Oh,
but even
now
then
it
pulls
does pull
Yeah.
a little bit. Oh, just a little bit. It can
Well, wait,
actually
yeah,
pull
let's go
the
back to
whole
the
of
diagram.
oceans. So it can pull all the oceans, the moon, and
But it doesn't rip the oceans out of the planet. It's the tidal forces. In that case, it's not even really the pull of gravity itself, but it's the difference in the gravitational pull from the near side of the Earth to the far side of the Earth. It causes a stretching force, which we call a tidal force.
So how do we have a container then? Because you can't have gas.
As I just said, gravity acts like a container. It pulls
acts
things
like a
back into
container.
Earth.
No, it doesn't. There is no container. This
Like
is
we
all,
literally call it a gravitational well.
and you have no evidence.
I added
for
the
this.
weight of helium
Absolutely
in
we do.
case you were
No, you don't.
interested.
Okay, can you
perfect.
name me the person that did the test and observed this?
Which part? About
part-
gravity?
yeah, the part that we
The
have gas-
original experiment that
No, no,
proved
no,
that
not
gravity
gravity, not gravity.
exists
Let me
outside of all the
finish.
other forces would be the Cavendish
No,
experiment.
not gravity. Not gravity. I didn't say gravity. You didn't let me finish. I think you're putting words into my mouth. I
Not
said-
the only thing
Do
we're
you
putting
not
into
want
his
to talk about
mouth.
gravity?
Who has done the experiment? Who was the very mature? Who was the one who did the experiment of the gases leaking into the universe? Who was there?
Wh-
Who's tested this?
Gases leaking into the universe. As I said, I
Into
don't think
space,
that happens. I
into
don't think.
space. Who's there to see it? Who's observed it? Who do you know?
What?
Again, I don't think that happens. That's
You wait there. We just established
begging
it.
the question.
We just established it happened when I said the moon can affect the waters and pull the waters up and down, and it can, but it doesn't.
As I said, it's not really a pulling force. It's a tidal force.
Are you gonna let me finish? I let you finish when you speak. It's like
Go on.
you gotta let me finish. This is how we converse. I stay quiet when you speak. So when the moon, like I said a minute ago, pulls the water up and down, which creates our tides and what have you, which is what you believe, because the gravity from the moon is too
But
strong.
I said it wasn't.
Wait, what's your account of that? How did the tides happen on your view?
I'll explain in a minute. But can I just give you my question? Because so you believe that the moon is strong enough to pull up the water for the tides, and then you believe that it's not strong enough to pull out the gases, which are further and much further away from Earth, closer to the moon itself. And then you did say, oh, it leaks a little bit. It does leak a little bit of the gases. And then I've said...
I don't even think I said that, even
Yes,
though
you
it
did.
does.
Yes, you did.
I don't think
Yes,
I
you
said
did.
that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I have no idea if he said this. I don't remember him saying that. He might
do.
have. I have no idea.
He did say...
I mean, it is true. A very small amount of gases leak out into the atmosphere.
Yeah,
but
exactly. So now you've
that's
admitted
not
it.
really what I said.
Right. But you've admitted it again, which you did admit in a minute ago. So let's
Yeah, but
take
it's
some
not because of the moon.
So hang on. So some of the gases...
And as I said, the moon doesn't really pull the ocean.
okay,
It's
all right,
a
okay,
tidal
doesn't-
force.
Yeah, well...
It's due to the difference in the force between the near side of the Earth and the far side of the Earth.
So when these gases leak into the universe, name me the person that did this experiment.
I think
What
isn't
experiment?
this just what
That's-
the models would predict?
Yeah, that's just an observation.
Observation. Who observed it?
Atmospheric scientists, I imagine.
Name me one.
That's not my area of expertise.
Doctor
This is the- so
Doctor
this is-
Sam Shen.
He witnessed this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How did he?
I don't know. Go ask him.
What was his method? How did he
Go
get up
ask
there
him.
in the atmosphere, which is how hot?
Isn't
Hot
that
enough
pretty?
to
Depends on
I
the
thought it was like pretty
altitude.
cold at some points.
The atmosphere.
It goes up in temperature and then goes back down again. It's got a weird relation
Of course it has.
because there is an interesting property. Once you go up very high in the atmosphere, you're only left with the molecules that have a very high amount of energy because those are the only ones that had enough energy to counter the gravitational pull of Earth.
Prove it.
That's just how gravity works.
Prove it.
And we can observe this. In
No,
fact, we
it's
can
what you-
see
it's what you-
the
it's
formula
what you-
for barometric
it's what you-
pressure and then
no,
match it
it's-
with reality, and we
It's
see
what-
that it
it's-
matches
no,
pretty
it's what you
closely.
it's what you believe because you've been told it's into
That's
your
not what I said.
It's co-
I said it's because it matches the data.
Listen, we have a problem in schools at the moment where girls think they're boys and boys think they're girls, and science is
How many
affirming it.
topics do you want to lose on?
Well, no, I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example of how science says one thing, and because science said it, it therefore must be true.
Oh, well, we don't
If
believe
science
that.
said-
Science is probabilistic. We never are dogmatic like religion is.
So, would you believe that there is possibility that there is a God?
Oh no, I think you can rule it out via
Yeah, it
metaphysics.
depends on your definition of
So
God,
hang on,
but
hang on.
probably not.
Are you all knowing?
I know two things:
No.
that contradictions don't exist, and that
Hang
God
on.
would entail contradictions. So
Are you
no,
all-
I'm not
well,
all
man,
knowing,
make a-
but I
are
know
you all
two
knowing?
important things, and it's the only two
Okay.
things that I would need to know in order to rule out its
So-
existence.
All right, don't worry about the Bible. Because if you haven't got a Bible, you can still recognize there's a creator, right?
Yep.
So if you are not all knowing, how do you know that there isn't a God?
Yeah, because I know that
don't have to know
contradictions are
everything.
false and that God entails contradictions.
Contradictions where?
Yeah,
I'm-
contradictions in God's property set.
So forget the Bible.
Yep.
So
Already
if you
forgotten.
have no book about a creator, if you have no book about a creator, right?
Oh, there's contradictions in a mind creating the universe.
And so if God created everything around us, well, he could be a contradictory God. He could be a God that contradicts, right? No,
So you believe contradictions are true?
He could be a God with bipolar, right?
Well, that's GG. Unfortunately, contradictions are false.
So my point, well, we make contradictions as humans.
Yeah,
That
and
doesn't make
those are
us
false. An
Yeah,
object
of
with
course, but
contradictory properties
it
doesn't
doesn't make the being
exist.
itself. You might
If the
do
properties
something.
are contradictory, then
Okay,
it doesn't exist.
if you make a mistake, right? Let's say you made a mistake. Does that mean that you don't exist?
Nope.
So let's say there was a God that made mistakes based on well, to him it wouldn't be a
Does the
mistake.
Christian
because-
God make mistakes?
He's saying forget the
argument that he's
Bible. I've
throwing.
already
the
deleted it from my
question is-
memory.
The question is, if
Oh,
you're not
true,
if you're
true.
not all knowing,
Yeah,
how
I'll
do you
answer it
know
for a
that there
fourth
isn't a
time.
God?
I'll answer it a fourth time. Yeah, I know two things: that contradictions are false, that things with contradictory properties don't exist,
Okay.
and that the God of the or that God has contradictory properties. So those are the only two things I need to know that He doesn't exist.
Why would God have a contradictory property? Explain. Not the Bible,
Yeah,
mate. Bible to one
insofar
side.
as He was either always creating the universe, He was either eternally creating the universe or not eternally creating the universe. If He was eternally creating the universe, then the universe would just be eternally created, which means that it was never created. The alternative is that He was not eternally creating the universe, which means that we would have had to change, which means that He would need to exist in time, so He couldn't have created time.
You said that things change earlier.
I think things change, but a God outside of time couldn't change.
Why?
Yeah, because time includes past, present, and future states, which means that if you're outside of time, then you lack past, present, and future states. But in
What
order
if
for God to change, He would need past, present, and future states.
What if God could be illogical compared to our logic? What if
Oh, then He doesn't exist.
So
I gotta get going. I'll see you later.
Contradictory objects don't exist, big dog. Thank you so much, Quantonaut.
Okay, but you believe the Bible's contradictory, right? And it's an object.
Oh, I don't think it has contradictory properties. I don't think there's any problem with a fictional story containing contradictions because it's fictional. That wouldn't make the properties contradictory because these aren't deep,
But it's
weighty
historical,
properties.
isn't it?
It's just ink on paper.
But it's historical, isn't it?
Is there any contradiction with ink on paper? I can't find one. But there is a contradiction in a mind outside of the universe creating the universe, insofar as a mind that's outside of the universe would require past, present, and future in order to create things. But it obviously can't have that.
You can't have what? So this is the issue. What I see right here. You're saying there can't be a God because if there is a God, then He's contradictory. But how? But that's saying that you're all knowing by
No,
believing that.
I just know one thing.
Because what if there's a God that's outside of your intellect? What if there's a God who dwells in a different realm, who doesn't think the way that humans think, doesn't work on the same spectrum of logic that we work on, doesn't work the way we work?
So God's illogical.
Okay. Could an illogical God exist?
I'm not going to believe in an illogical God.
That wasn't the question.
No.
Do you believe in it? I say, could
No.
an illogical
God could not exist. No.
How do you know?
Because things with contradictory properties don't exist.
But what? Hang on. In this realm, maybe. What if
In any realm
it doesn't? How do you know that?
Yeah, the law of
You're not
non-contradiction.
You're not all knowing. See, but what you're trying.
All we need to know is that the law of non-contradiction is true.
Okay. How do you know that anything is true? How do you know that this experience that we're having now is true?
By no, do you just mean like what justifies my belief in it, or are you asking?
Well, if we are random particles moving in motion, right? How do you know that your thoughts are just not random?
The way that we would acquire a justification for this is just the fact that if they were completely random, that would lead to external world skepticism, which would lead to skepticism about the question existing that you just asked me, which of course would be self-defeating.
So, because everything is self-questioning, therefore it's random, but not everything is self-questioning.
That was a load of gibberish, but no. The reason why we're capable of knowing things is because it would be self-defeating for us to not.
Do we know everything?
No.
Okay, so when Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one gets to the Father but by me, how do you know He was lying?
I don't even know that He said that.
Okay, you don't. But what if He did?
If He did, the way that I would know that he's lying is because God doesn't exist.
Jesus was God.
What's the evidence for that?
He did miracles.
What's the evidence for that?
The Bible.
What's the evidence that the Bible is true?
Okay. Do you want to know God?
If He exists, I'd be open to it. I want to believe whatever's true.
Okay. Then you need to pray to Him, don't you?
Hey God, we were just wondering if you could maybe settle this debate. We're just wondering whether or not you exist. Would you mind coming down and declaring a victor, or alternatively, not coming down and making it look like you don't exist?
Okay. Who did you speak to then?
Myself, presumably.
I didn't say speak to yourself. I said pray to God. Why didn't you pray to God?
I put the prayer into the ethos. If he exists, then he received it, and if he doesn't,
I
then he
don't think you were
didn't.
praying
But he
then. I
certainly
think you
didn't
were.
show up now, did
You know
he?
what I think you were doing then? I think you were mocking, and that's the
Oh,
difference.
I would never
Because
mock God.
mocking and praying are two different things. You
I
do
would never
understand, don't
mock
you?
God.
Of course.
I would
Of course you
never do
wouldn't.
that. Not me, not mock.
Hmm. I think that if you didn't mock and you actually prayed, you'd actually get your evidence, and it would be
Mm,
personal to you. Because I have the Holy Spirit living within me. I
mm,
can't prove that to you,
mm.
and you can't experience it in the same way as if I was
The
drinking
Holy Spirit
alcohol.
is in your skin.
No, in my body, in my
He's
don't you
underneath your
believe?
skin.
No, we have a spirit. The skin is just a shell for
Cool.
the soul.
What's the
Don't you
evidence
believe
for any of
that?
that?
Conscience,
Okay.
love.
Okay.
Okay, here's a question for you. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me anymore. Yeah, love is when the region of the brain associated with it gets activated, which leads to the release of oxytocin and serotonin, or just like the neurochemical transmitters, which then bind to the oxytocin and serotonin receptors, which completes the ion circuit, and
So what does
then
that
leads to the feeling.
lead? So you believe love is a feeling?
I do.
Is it a good feeling?
Um, what sense of good?
Well, a
Like
high.
if you loved rape, I don't think that's a good feeling.
If you love what?
If you loved rape, I wouldn't think that's a good feeling.
For the rapist, it would be, wouldn't it?
I don't think so.
So why do they do it?
Because they want to, but they're wrong. They're not well educated enough on what's in their best interest. What sort of
Okay.
lives are
What about
conducive to
those who
human
are
flourishing.
educated?
If
What
they knew
about the
more
rich?
about themselves and what leads to a good human life, then they wouldn't do those things, because by doing those things, they sacrifice the possibility of having a good human life.
Would you say the same thing about a liar?
Depends on the lie.
Okay.
Some lies are
Deceit.
just. I
Okay.
wouldn't say any rape is just.
What about unjust lies?
Yeah, in terms of if you have a habit of being unjust and telling unjust lies, then yeah, you are sacrificing from your ultimate well-being. Absolutely.
Have you ever told an unjust lie?
Yeah.
So you're exactly the person you were just speaking of
Yeah,
when you were
and that
speaking
I was
about the rapist.
sacrificing from my ultimate well-being by doing that.
So you are uneducated
At that point, I was uneducated,
by your
yeah.
own definition.
And still, of course, I'm still sometimes uneducated. I'm constantly learning.
Okay. So that goes for every human being then, not just
Hmm.
the rapist. So
Hmm.
why did you make that just about those who rape and not about everyone?
Oh, that's just going to be a critique about omission. It's true of a lot of things, but rape is just an example.
Yeah,
I was just
obviously.
giving you an easy example of a time when love is bad. If you loved to rape, that would be
I
like
no,
really
I didn't. I
bad.
didn't say love is bad. I said what
You
does it
asked me
feel
whether or
like?
not it was good, and I asked you
No, I
what
said
sense, and I
no.
gave you an
No, I said
example
what?
of
No, you
a
said what
time
does
where
it
I
feel
think
like?
love would be quite bad, at least in like a moral sense.
We were talking
So,
about the feeling, not the actual thing itself. We were saying, is the feeling of love good? I was asking you the question, and you said, well, no, not if you're a rapist.
well,
And I said,
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. Depends on the circumstance.
okay, when would love not be good for the person?
Yeah, if it is a love for rape, as mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
Or
but for
another
that
one, I
person,
can give you an even like less
yeah, but why is
controversial
it?
example
But
if you want. If
but
you
you're
love your
assuming.
partner and they're abusive, that would be an excellent example of a time when
Yeah,
the feeling of love is bad for
yeah,
you.
but that's according to you in your subjective reality.
Oh, I think morals are objective. I think you're confusing our
Oh,
view.
so
You're
we're
the
okay.
one
So
with the
morals are
subjective
objective.
morals because your morals all stem from God, who's of course a subject. So it's all
You've
subjective
stepped
in
into-
your view, but it's objective in my
Now
view.
you're a theist. Now you've
No,
stepped
I'm
into
not.
the theist. Of course you are.
No,
'Cause you
if I
can't-
was a theist, then I would have subjective ethics, but my ethics are objective, which is why I'm an atheist. You can't
Okay,
have
if you
anything
believe
other
in-
than subjective ethics as a theist.
Okay, you believe in objective morality.
I do.
Okay?
Yep.
Who decides what's right and wrong?
Yeah, it's logically necessitated based on commitments that all agents must make.
Break that down for the layman.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm an agent. That means that I must believe that I am an agent. I
Okay.
can't not believe that I'm an agent. Otherwise, I'd be using my agency to deny that I'm an agent, which would just be a self-refutation. But in virtue of being an agent, I pursue goals. I take actions in order to attempt to achieve goals that I have, which requires me to claim a right to my freedom and well-being, because I would need my freedom and well-being to achieve any of these, quite frankly. But if my freedom, or if my agency is sufficient for me to have that right, then agency in itself must be sufficient for that right in itself, which means that all agents have a right to freedom and well-being.
Do you want to know the issue with that?
Yeah, go for it.
Not everyone thinks like you.
Don't care. They're wrong. You know, when the stupid kid raises his hand
so
and
we're
says
back
2
to
plus 2 is
subjective
5,
morality.
that doesn't mean that 2 plus 2 isn't equal to 4.
Subjective morality.
No, it's objective. You know,
Well,
people
why-
disagreeing
why
with
is
it
it
doesn't make
objective?
it not still objective. In the same way that if somebody disagreed that 2 plus 2 is 4, it wouldn't somehow be
again,
subjective that 2 plus 2 is 4. It would still be objective. And those people would be objectively wrong. So likewise, if someone disagrees with my moral system, they're objectively wrong. And I can demonstrate that because there's a
moral
contradiction in the
system,
worldview.
What you decide is right and wrong. Your moral
It's
system.
based on logic. It's logically necessitated.
What based on what?
Logic.
Okay, so you think it's based on your logic.
No. Wait, is logic objective or subjective?
Objective.
Oh, okay, sure. So then it's not based on mine. It's just based on an
but you
objective
no, but it's-
source.
but-
Okay,
no,
I'm
but
so glad that we agree that my morals are actually grounded in an objective source, making them objective. You just conceded.
No, you have a
Yeah,
objective.
you just conceded it.
No, what I mean is, it is, but at the same time, people have made it subjective, if that makes sense.
Well,
Do
they
you want
might
me
think
to-
it's subjective and they're wrong.
Of course they're wrong, and I believe they're wrong. But there's
No, you
many people
don't.
out
You have subjective ethics. If
What?
your ethics are objective, why is everybody necessarily morally obligated to listen to what God tells them to? Or do you have to subjectively decide to listen to God? Why ought I do what God tells me to?
we have something called free will, right?
Okay.
Which means God has given us laws to live by for our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
They shall not kill, they shall not steal, they shall not lie, they shall not commit adultery, etc., right? They're there for our protection, essentially. I know you're going to go back to other things, but for this conversation, God gives us laws to live by which are better suited for us, which I believe that are above us.
But why ought I do them?
Well, first and foremostly, to be obedient to God, because that's his love language.
Why ought I?
Because it's beneficial to you.
Why ought I do the things that benefit me?
Wow. Because the consequences.
Why ought I care about the consequences?
Because consequences can lead to suffering.
Why ought I care about suffering?
You don't have to. This is the
Oh,
point.
then it's all subjective. So your worldview bottoms out in a subjective decision to listen to God. You subjectively, in the Christian worldview, have to just subjectively decide to listen to Him in order for there to be any reason to do so.
Of
So
course,
your
'cause we're-
ultimate moral
but we're not
authority is
robots, are we?
yourself. You have to make a subjective decision. So in a stunning twist of fate, the atheist has objective ethics and the Christian has subjective ethics.
Hang on a minute. We are not robots, are we?
Nope.
So God is. You can have an objective morality with free will agents.
I didn't say that you couldn't. What I'm saying is that in order to have universal moral obligations, there needs to be universal reasons that everybody has to listen to God. And as you just said, not
So-
everyone has a reason to listen to God. If you don't give a fuck what God says and you don't care about benefiting your life and avoiding suffering, if you don't care about any of that, then you have no reason to listen to what God tells you, which means
Yeah,
that
but-
there isn't a universal moral obligation.
But I don't think there is one person who doesn't care about suffering.
Oh,
Because I
then
think
it's just an appeal to majority.
because I think that the moment people go to hell is the moment they can no longer mock and no longer think that they're somehow smarter than God or whatever it is about that person who doesn't want to obey by God's laws and rules and whatever. It's in those moments that actually they do care about suffering.
Sounds good, big dog. But
People can
if they don't
talk
care
about
about suffering, then they have no reason to actually care about what God tells them to do.
people do care about suffering though.
But they have no reason. If they didn't, they would have no reason to listen to
Yeah, but
God.
that's a what if. People do care about
Yeah.
suffering.
And I
Reality is
understand that you ate breakfast, but you agree that if somebody doesn't give a fuck about suffering, then that it would just follow from that they have no reason to do what God tells them to, right?
I think that you're using an argument that's quite fallacious
Which one?
because I believe every single human being does everything they can to not suffer in using their
What
senses.
about people who keep themselves in abusive relationships?
They think it's right for them.
But do they think that they're going to stop suffering?
Yeah. They believe the sorries. They believe when the husband beats the wife and says, sorry, I won't do it again, they believe them.
I don't think so.
I believe they do. I believe they try to say he's going to be a good man, he's going to be a better man. I think they lie to themselves.
Or that's another good example. What about masochists?
What about them?
Do they avoid suffering?
I think they enjoy suffering to a point, but I think it comes from a place of trauma. I think it's a trauma response.
So what reason would a masochist have to listen to what God tells them to?
Because of love for their souls.
So what reason do they have?
Because God loves them.
Okay, what if they don't give a fuck about that? Let's say we have a Satanist masochist. Do they have any reason at all to listen to God?
Yeah.
What's the reason?
For their own selves, for their own salvation.
Okay, but they don't give a fuck about God. They don't want to get saved.
I can say right in this moment, I don't care about choking on food, but the moment I start choking on food, I start caring. So it's all good giving the talk, but in the moment, they're not going to be thinking the same way.
No, I think masochists suffer and they enjoy it. So
No, I think they have receptors to a certain amount of pain, which they enjoy. But do they actually really enjoy it, though? Or are they actually mentally ill?
I think a lot of them actually enjoy it.
I think it's a mental illness.
Oh, I think that all of the modern medicine would probably disagree with you. Like, obviously, there's like a point where it would be deeply unwell. But no, I think it's actually pretty quite common.
Even in your worldview, it's warped, surely.
Depends on the circumstance.
Okay, when is it normal?
Yeah, when they're in a right state of mind and they're capable of giving free informed consent to partake in the activity that they enjoy.
But what makes it doesn't make it normal just because.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about normal. If by normal you mean like a thing that's done a statistically frequent amount of the time, like I couldn't give less of a fuck about that.
Well, I think we have morality normal, don't we? Like, as in what is moral, what is like, and I don't think that sadomasochism and all these other weird sexual fetishes that harm a human are normal.
Yeah. If I showed you a diagram of the vagina, would you be able to find the clit? I'm getting revelation from Allah, and he's informing me that you've probably never made a woman come before.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's like a personal failing personally.
What if I'm avoiding sex because I don't want a woman to get pregnant and then abort a child?
Just wrap your willy, my dude.
Okay. But that's not 100% guarantee, is it?
Okay. Then, I don't know.
So what if I'm
Fucking tough it up.
What if I'm making a right decision?
I think that if you care that much about fetuses, then you're probably just uninformed about the things that truly matter.
What does the word fetus mean?
A little human being.
So why didn't you say that instead of fetus?
Because I don't think that a fetus is a person. I don't think they have moral consideration.
So if I care about little human beings...
What, are you going to show me your teeth?
If I care about little human beings, you don't care.
I don't give hardly any moral consideration to like a day one fetus.
Why would people not care about little human beings? I don't get it.
So let's say the scenario is this.
Isn't it
You
funny? I
have
can't do
10
that.
you're in an IVF clinic, it's burning to the ground. There are 10 embryos in front of you, they're frozen. And then on the other side, there's one crying, screaming human baby. Which one are you
Yeah.
saving?
The one I'm closest to.
So let's say you're closer to the embryos. What are you saving?
Okay. What is an embryo?
Just like when the sperm has fertilized the egg, if I'm not mistaken, but prior to implantation.
So 10 children.
Is that what you see them as?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you'd save?
I'd save whoever was closest to me.
Okay. Let's change it up a bit. Let's say it's 2 embryos.
Okay.
There's 2 frozen embryos that are right next to you, and then there's a crying, screaming human baby who's like 10 feet away from you. Which one are you saving?
Both.
If you can only choose one, which one are you saving?
Whichever one's closest.
So you'd save the embryos. What if it was just one embryo? Would you save one frozen embryo over a crying, screaming human baby if you had to? If you had to pick one, which one did you do?
Whichever one I could.
So you would save the embryo. You realize that this is such an insane bullet bite that you won't even say it.
I would try and save both. But that's my answer. I'm not like.
Yeah, but if you could only save one, which one would you save?
What you're doing is sort of trying to entrap in a scenario that is.
But I did eat breakfast. But I did eat breakfast.
It's a fallacious argument. It's like, okay, if I was to give it to you, if there was 2 kids, one in one room crying and one in the other room crying, which one would you save if you could only save one?
I probably need to know more details about them. How old are they?
You don't know details. You just hear crying babies. That's all you
2
hear.
crying babies?
Yeah.
Given the information, you're probably justified in doing either.
Exactly. So I think whichever one you save, you save. At least
So you do think that you would save
do you know the
one
difference,
frozen
though?
embryo over a crying, screaming human child?
It depends, doesn't it? It's all contextual at the end of the day. If I'm in a room with embryos that I can save, I would save the embryos. If I'm in a room with a crying baby and the embryos, I could save both.
What if you couldn't? What if you had to pick one?
It's a bit of a silly question in all fairness.
What if one says you're equidistant from 2 rooms? One says 2 embryos with an arrow pointing downwards, and then the other you can hear the crying, screaming human baby, and the fire is about to engulf it. You got to act quickly. Which one are you saving?
The child.
Which one?
Crying.
Oh, why?
Because it's crying.
Okay. What if it was like 10 embryos? Which one are you saving then?
Don't know.
You don't know? You're not sure if you'd save like the 10 frozen embryos or the one crying, screaming human baby?
I think logic. I'd like to say that I would save the 10 over the 1, but I think my heart would do something different in that moment, because I would probably see the more developed child as a more as a bigger reason, because there'd be noise coming from the child and stuff like that as a way to. I'd see the child that was crying, and my heart would probably say, "Save the child." Logically, I should save the 10 because that's 10 children.
Do you think logically you should save the 2 embryos?
Possibly, yeah, because that's 2 children, right?
I think that's insane. I think most people think that's insane.
But here's the point, though. I'm trying to save children full stop, and you don't care.
I thought you said there's nothing wrong with death in your view.
Well, it depends.
Oh, are you walking that back?
Depends if you're a Christian or not.
Yeah, in your view, you are a Christian. Is there anything wrong with death?
Oh, actually, that's going to help me answer the last question. I'd save the child, and the reason I'd save the child is because I believe the embryos would go to heaven.
But wouldn't the child go to heaven too?
Yeah, but the child's alive there and then.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean,
So are the embryos.
of course, but the child is like making noise.
So if there was like a... if the
noise
embryos were
equals
making
embryos?
noise, you would save the embryos.
I think.
Wow, what
I'm trying
a
to say is,
what a
it-
good morally relevant feature. Let's say the child isn't making noise and is in fact oblivious or like asleep.
Okay.
What then?
Would I save the child then over the 10 embryos?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I probably would. If I'm being honest, I would. And the reason I would is because my heart would say this child is more developed than those in there, than those children in there. And there would be something to do with basically just how my heart would see the child more developed than the embryos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that doesn't
So
stop them
let
being
me get this.
children,
Let me
does
get the
it?
hierarchy straight. Child, embryos,
No, not embryos.
women.
Less developed children, let's say.
Is that? Did I get it?
What?
So the ordering of your like value system goes child, embryos, women.
No, it's context, isn't it? I said if I was closest to the embryos, I'd say the embryos.
Yeah.
It's to do with context, isn't it?
Sure.
Context. It doesn't, and it doesn't mean the decisions I make are right or wrong, and it doesn't make them less of a child. Let me ask you a question: if there was a dog draining and a child draining, which one would you save?
The child.
Of course you would, but does that make the dog anything? Does that make a dog less dog, for example,
Makes a dog less valuable.
than the human?
Yeah.
Okay. But does it make it less valuable than what it is supposed to be?
I don't even know what that question's asking.
Okay, what I'm saying is, just because you leave the dog to drain, it doesn't mean it's not a dog, and it doesn't mean it's not worthy of being saved. It's just the child you would put above the dog, correct?
Certainly, yeah.
And when you're dealing with 10 fetuses and one child, it doesn't mean that the 10 fetuses are less valuable than that child.
Oh, wait, but do you think that they're less valuable?
No, I don't. That's why I would try to save both.
Okay, sure. Okay, so then you would just evaluate it exactly the same.
I would try and save both. This is the
So
point.
if there was like so you
Your
evaluate them
argument
at the
is-
same level of value. So if there was one frozen embryo and one child, you'd have to like flip a coin.
Oh, no, I just try and save both, whichever one was easiest
If you had to
save.
pick one, let's say that the embryo is like a micrometer closer to you, and you can only save one. Which one are you saving?
Okay, the embryo. I'll stand by my word.
Okay, that's like the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard.
No, obviously, I think, how far is the embryo? Did you hear that?
If you were the embryo,
No, how far is the embryo? 1 day? 6 months?
oh, how far? Sure, that's a good question. Let's say that it was just fertilized, so it's like a couple of days old.
Just fertilized, a couple of days old. I would say this. I'd go for the child that was conscious.
Okay.
And the reason I go for a child that was conscious over a child that was unconscious is because the child that is conscious is alive and may have well, not sinned,
So is
but
the embryo.
what? No, not
The
I'm not
embryo
saying
is
it's-
also alive.
Of course,
They're both
of course.
living.
Oh, you believe that, do you?
Of course. Anyone
you believe
who
it-
thinks that an
so-
embryo isn't alive has just not looked into the issue at all.
Of course. So you believe it's a living child, right?
No, not a child. And I wouldn't say that it's the important distinction is a person. I don't think it's a person.
Okay. What do you believe it is then?
I think that it's an embryo. It's alive. It's like a human cell. I would even go so far as to say it's a human organism, but it's not a person.
It's not
And
a
the
human
way that I
organism.
determine this, you can look at like conjoined twins, for example. There are some conjoined twins that will be one organism by any definition of organism, but they're two persons. So the fact that conjoined twins are one organism that is two persons means that
What do you mean by
personhood, i.e.,
person?
like moral consideration, cannot be identical to organismhood.
What do you mean by person?
Person just means like an individual deserving of moral consideration.
So an individual human.
One specifically deserving of moral consideration.
Which would be a human, right?
No, because I think that there are
Is it an
humans that
animal
aren't
then, is it?
persons. For example,
what
I
is
think
it
an
then?
embryo is a human, but it's not a person.
It's not a person. So if it's not I don't understand how you can say it's not a person.
A person is something that is moral, that's like deserving of moral consideration.
So you don't believe it's worthy of moral consideration?
No, at least not substantial moral
Do
consideration.
you know that you were an embryo at one point?
No, I wasn't. I'm a person, and embryos aren't people.
Oh, embryos aren't people. So you were never an embryo
I
at
was
one
never
point.
an embryo because I'm a person, and embryos
You know
aren't
how silly
people.
you sound.
I am at my foundation a person. That's the core of the identity,
Okay.
is that I'm a
What point?
person,
Okay.
an
At what
individual,
point does the embryo
and
turn into a person?
embryos are not persons. You were
Okay.
never an embryo.
Okay.
You became
What
a
point?
person probably at the point of sentience, although
Which is
even
when?
then, it's like 6
Which is
months.
when?
It's like 6
6 months.
months. But
So
even
not
then, at
five and a
that
half
point, I'm
months.
still convinced that abortion would be justified, just on like bodily autonomy considerations.
As long as it's not your abortion, of course.
Oh, if my girlfriend got pregnant,
Yeah.
even if I wanted her to deliver the baby, I would have no right to make that claim on her body.
But what about the child's body?
Insofar as the child's body is a
Yeah.
dependent on my girlfriend's body, I think that she has the autonomy to decide what her internal resources are going to be dedicated towards.
You know you're going against science when you say it's not a person, right? Don't you?
Oh no, that's a metaphysical claim.
Oh well.
Scientists say that it's alive. I
Why is it?
agree
Why?
with
Why do you get
scientists that it's
checked?
alive.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
find me a single scientist that says that it's a person?
I'm
Like,
going to show
how
you.
would you scientifically verify it's like personhood?
Here we
It's like
go.
moral consideration.
Let me ask you this: if you're
Yeah, I'd move past that one hella quickly too.
no, I'm on it. I'm on it. But when you ask a question to get to a point which you can answer, I'm doing that. So if your girlfriend was pregnant and I kicked her in the stomach and the baby died, should I go to prison?
Yeah, I mean, you like
What for? What
assaulted,
should I be charged with? Just assault,
probably.
not murder.
I don't think I'd say that you deserve to be charged with murder.
No,
Probably
should
just
I?
assault.
Just assault.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did they
Actually,
charge?
maybe I'd say it probably depends how far the fetus is along.
I'll go 5 months. You said 6 months is at sentience. So
Oh,
let's say
sure.
5
Then
months.
I think you should go to prison for assault.
Just assault. What
Yep.
if I don't end up in prison?
What?
Would you see that as me killing your child by any chance?
It's not a child yet, so no.
Okay.
I'd
so
see.
you wouldn't.
You'd kill the embryo, you know.
And would you say that? Would you say this man has killed my embryo?
Yeah,
How
it'd
dare
probably
he
be like
kill my
frustrating,
grandson?
right? Like, you know,
you
if
think
I have
your
like a
girlfriend was-
project that I'm working towards, you know, if her and I have come together to do this,
I
yeah,
get
it'd probably be
done
like pretty
murder, but
frustrating to have that end upset.
it-
In the same way,
do
like
you
let's say
think
you're
the
like a
law is-
sculptor and you're like 2 years into sculpting this like stone block, you're like chiseling it away, and then somebody comes in and blows it up. Yeah, you're probably gonna be pretty upset about that. You know, you probably did something pretty immoral there. But yeah, I don't think that you murdered the statue.
No. Okay. So basically, when the police charge you for a homicide, when you kill a child in the womb, the police are wrong, and the courts are wrong, and the justice system is wrong.
I don't think that they have a consistent metaphysics.
Okay. So you don't.
Wait, sorry, and to be clear, neither do you. Do you think that moral consideration is identical to organismhood?
Fetus, yeah, but a fetus
Wait,
means
do you?
a fetus means a small child.
Wait,
You're the
do
one
you
that's changing
think that being an
definitions.
organism is the same
You're
thing as
changing
being a
definitions,
person?
though. You're changing the science,
Do
not
you
me.
think that being an organism is the same thing as being a person?
Are you an organism now?
I am an organism and I'm a
Are you a
person.
person?
Stop dodging. Do you think being an organism is the same thing as being a person?
Of course.
Oh, so do you think that the one organism of conjoined twins are two people?
That's something called a deformity.
Oh,
right?
fuck, we got him. Oh, no, that's
How?
too bad. What it actually is a contradiction. It's an inconsistency in your view.
No, it's
So
not.
you think that
a deformity,
organisms
which
are
means
identical to
it's a-
persons,
it's-
but
it's
you
a
would
ab-
say that this
an
one organism
abnormality.
is two people.
It's
That
an
means that
abnormality.
personhood, i.e., moral consideration, cannot possibly reduce
It's
to
an
organismhood
abnormality.
because organisms are not capable of accounting for the moral consideration that we would grant to a set of conjoined twins.
conjoined twins are abnormality.
Who cares? They're still morally valuable. And in fact, we'd probably say that they're twice as morally valuable.
Just because you have an exception to the rule
Do you
doesn't make
think,
it the rule.
oh, it actually does. That's how basic logic works, I'm afraid.
So
if you say in all instances what makes a person is that they're an organism, and you find an instance, a counterexample to this, then actually does shatter the rule.
Let me ask you this
on
question.
basic logic, unfortunately.
Okay, so you're saying if a person is born with 6 fingers, an abnormality, that then the shops should supply all gloves with 6 fingers?
The shops are going to function and base their decisions to stock what they stock on economic concerns.
No.
Insofar as they want to make profit, what they're going to do is stock 5-fingered gloves because there aren't a lot of those people.
You're running.
No, I'm not.
We don't design humanity based on the abnormals.
Oh, okay. There's a whole bunch to unpack there. Do you think that a set of conjoined twins is one people or two? One person or two?
Let me narrow it down a sec.
I'm so sorry. What you're going to do is answer the question. Do you think conjoined twins are one person or two?
Well, of course, they're 2 people. But
oh, sure. And what's the basis for that? Why are they 2 people?
Well, listen, a husband and wife.
Why are they 2 people? A husband and wife are 2 organisms.
That can become one organism during sex?
False.
Not false.
Incorrect. Can you find me a scientist that would support that a husband and wife are one organism during sex?
Well, you become one.
This guy thinks that you're the same fucking organism. At that point, is it just masturbation?
Okay, so
wait, actually, fuck. That's a great question. That means that sex is completely impermissible in your view, because if it's one organism pleasuring itself, then that means that it would just be masturbation, which means that sex is impermissible on your view.
But no, this is where I've got you. You thought you were smart, but this is where I got you. When a husband and a wife come together during sex, they're 2 organisms, even though they're connected. Go back to your twins.
Yeah.
They're two organisms,
no, they're not.
Even though they're connected.
They share organs. They literally will share the same internal organs.
Are you on about what sort of conjoined are you talking about? The 2 heads on one body?
Sure. Let me find the specific example. There's like a specific set of sisters where they literally had they shared organs with each other.
Are you on about the ones that they can't separate? I don't know what you have to be more specific. Because if you're talking about when they're conjoined at the heads and then they separate their heads, they're 2, but they're connected through a deformity and abnormality.
The Hilton sisters.
Okay, okay. A definite. Yeah, what about them?
Yeah, they are conjoined. They can't be separated. They share organs with each other.
Okay.
1 person or 2?
2.
But it's 1 organism.
2 spirits.
Oh. And when does the spirit get implanted?
At birth, when the seed hits the egg. Do you know there's a flash when the seed hits the egg?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Do you understand?
So then abortion is justified all 9 months. You said at birth.
What?
You said...
sorry, not at birth. My apologies. Conception.
Okay.
Of course, you knew that.
Close call.
You're a clever person. You don't need to score cheap points.
Okay. Close call. Oof.
Close call.
We almost had you at a... You'd be donating money to Planned Parenthood by the end of this conversation.
I would never do that because you may as well be sacrificing your children to Satan if you're going to go to these places.
Yeah.
Of course, because that's what abortion is. It's child sacrifice. It's a person killing their child for their own self, saying, I want to. Of course it is.
No, I think it's healthcare. I think that you're capable of evaluating your life and determining what the right thing to do is.
If it's not a child, what are they killing?
If it's not what?
If it's not a child in their womb, what are they actually doing?
They're terminating the life of the zygote, or of the embryo, or the fetus.
Of the embryo.
I don't know, man. All the nomenclature is weird. Yeah, they're terminating the life of the fetus.
And when you say fetus, little child, you mean?
I mean a
Why do you-
fetus, like a
which means little child. So it's a
fertilized
child.
egg that's been
No, it
implanted
doesn't
is what
say
I
that.
mean.
The word fetus means little child.
Yeah, and the word terrific
So it's
means
a little
terrible
child.
if you go back to its Latin root. Unfortunately, you know,
It means little
we're
child.
not Romans. We live in the year 2025. Words have meanings that have evolved
Yeah,
over time.
okay. So even
Unfortunately,
today, we
what
know it's a
fetus
little
refers
child.
to is just an egg that's been fertilized, that's been implanted.
False. If you go and kill someone who's
True.
pregnant and the baby dies, you get done.
Let's look it up.
You get
What's a
done for a
fetus?
double homicide. You'll get done for a double homicide. If you kill a pregnant woman and the child dies, you get done for double homicide. There is recognition in the law still to this day that it's a child in the womb.
Fetal stage. Okay, sure. So it's the stage of
fetal
development
stage.
after the embryonic stage. I think that ends. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the embryonic stage ends with implantation, but I could be wrong about this. Let's look. Mammals term. When does the embryonic stage change? Embryonic stage finish. Oh, sure. So this is after implantation, but it's the completion of basic body plan is what Mark said.
So, what is an embryo?
An embryo, I believe an embryo is. Let's look up. When does the embryo stage start?
No, what is an embryo? What's the definition of an embryo?
Just like a fertilized egg that's in the embryonic stage.
So something that's unborn.
No,
Correct.
because an embryo is distinct from a fetus. It's weird
No,
that you have such a
no,
strong
it's
opinion about
synonymous.
this, but don't know anything
It's
about it.
synonymous with it's synonymous with fetus.
Do you wait? I'm so sorry. Does it? Well, it's not. An embryo is distinct from a fetus.
It's
It took
synonymous
me
with
like
fetus,
literally
though.
2 minutes of reading to figure that out.
Yeah, but it's synonymous with fetus, is
But
it
that's
not?
false, right? They refer to different
According
things.
to whom? Oxford Dictionary doesn't say that.
No, so okay. A fetus is
Google wouldn't
specifically
tell you that.
it's past the embryonic stage,
So
whereas
what is
an embryo is in the embryonic stage. So it's just a different stage of development. So if you use these words
And what
interchangeably,
is
you're wrong.
developing? And what is developing?
Life, like a human life.
A human's developing.
A human life is what I said.
Which how do you separate the two?
Yeah, I don't think that persons are organisms. I don't think that organismhood
How
is
do you
sufficient
separate
for
human from
personhood.
human life?
And
What's
I'm
the
sorry,
difference
wait,
between
we can actually demonstrate that. And I know you want to keep on like bouncing around, but what I'll do instead is just give you a deductive argument for it. If personhood, or if organismhood was sufficient for personhood, then conjoined twins would be one person. Conjoined twins are not one person. Therefore, organismhood is
They're
not
one
sufficient
body.
for personhood.
But it depends what you base a person on. because
Sorry, let's
they're
just get you to reject a premise. So
it's
what I'm going to
bod-
do, I'm
it's
going to
bod-
pull up the notepad, and we're just going to get you to reject one.
a person and a body are different, right?
If organismhood was identical to personhood, then conjoined twins would be one person.
No.
Conjoined twins are not one person. Therefore, organismhood is not identical to personhood.
One body, two persons.
Which premise do you reject?
Well, you don't believe in spirits for a start, so I believe
Yeah,
the
which
spirit
premise do you reject?
So that you're basing, right, that the person and the body are the same thing.
Which premise do you reject?
That you.
So
Well,
premise
why's that?
1, if organismhood was identical to personhood, then conjoined twins would be one person. Premise 2, conjoined twins are not one person.
Yeah,
Which
So
premise is
I'm-
wrong?
I'm telling you, but I'm breaking it down in a layman's
Do you reject
terms.
premise 1 or premise 2? Break down in layman terms if you reject premise 1 or premise 2 by saying
So-
either I reject premise 1 or
Well,
saying I reject premise 2 or saying I accept the conclusion or saying I reject both premises. Break that down.
So organismhood identical to personhood. Okay.
That wasn't even a complete sentence.
Well, yeah, the first one then.
Oh.
Obviously.
Okay, so you reject that
You're smarter
if
than that. You don't have to be-
organismhood
you
was
don't have to-
identical to
don't
personhood,
score
then
cheap
conjoined
points.
twins would be one
Why
person.
you're smart. Though.
Okay,
You don't
I'll
need to
give you a
score cheap
justification for
points.
that. That's totally fine. So premise 1.1 will be if organismhood is identical to personhood, then one organism is one person. Conjoined twins are one organism.
So you're going off on a tangent, and what I'm trying to say to you is one body doesn't
Therefore,
make one.
oh sure.
one
Wait. So do you
person.
reject premise 1 or premise 1.1 or premise 1.2?
This is what I believe.
Oh, he's not
believe-
he's not actually gonna engage in the argument.
no, 'cause
His
my belief
pro-life
should
position
reject-
got filleted like a fish. You know, he pivoted
My-
all over the damn place. He pivoted from the Bible, got
pivoting.
dunked on the Bible.
I'm
he
telling
pivoted
you,
to science
I'm telling you-
denial, got
no,
dunked
you're
on
giving me
science denial.
your
He's
options,
throwing
and
up
I'm
this
telling you this is what I
last-ditch
believe.
attempt to salvage his reputation by trying to win a morality debate. And instead, what he's going to get is slammed again by this brutal reductio.
Yeah, we're going to see now. Do you believe in the
Do you
spirit?
reject premise 1 or premise 2?
I reject all your premises.
You reject that conjoined twins are not one person? How many people are there?
two people.
Oh, you contradicted yourself because you just said that you rejected that they're not one person, which means that you would hold that they're one person and not one person if you thought that they were two people.
They're two people in one body.
Wait, you're contradicting yourself. You said you
How is
rejected
that
all the
contradiction?
premises. One of the
How
premises
can
is that they're not
do you
one person.
Believe, okay. Do you believe you can be two people?
Okay,
in
wait,
one
wait.
body?
So here's what this guy affirms. This guy affirms conjoined twins are one person.
No,
Conjoined twins are two people.
no. I'm saying conjoined
Yes, you do.
twin-
You rejected premise 2.
No, I didn't.
Premise
I said
2, you said I reject all of them.
all of your statements. so I
Yeah,
said
you
this is
reject
what I
all
believe.
of them. One of the statements is that conjoined twins are not one person.
This is what I believe.
Yeah, he says
When
this
they
is what I
conjoin-
believe after
when
getting
they
obliterated
conjoin,
on
like
the
what you
logic
showed-
or
like
the
what you
substance of the matter.
Well, you should. I don't get why you just don't understand why you have to
Do
get all
you
technical.
reject premise 1.1 or premise 1.2? Premise 1.1 is that if organismhood is identical to personhood, then one organism is one person.
If organismhood was identical to one person, then conjoined twins would be one person.
It's the highlighted stuff. Premise 1.1 is if
so-
organismhood is identical to personhood, then one organism is one person. Premise 1.2, conjoined twins are one person.
Okay, so in 99.9% of situations,
Or, I'm sorry, wait, it would be...
that would be the case, but not in the case of conjoined.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, so then your standard for personhood is not universal.
It is, but rules to the exception.
It's universal except for the parts that aren't universal. That means it's not universal, bud.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. It is what it is. I'm saying what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying what you believe, right?
yeah.
But I'm saying, okay, what is a person then?
I think a person is a mind.
Has a mind, right?
Yeah,
So you believe that those two have separate minds or the same mind?
separate minds, which is why they're separate people.
So you believe the two people are one organism, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's not the case for everyone, is it?
Like what?
So you're one organism, one person.
Yeah, I'm one organism, one person. Some
Okay.
people are one organism, two people.
Okay. So when did this organism start?
The organism started at conception.
Thank you.
But of
got
course,
him.
organismhood is
We
not
got him.
sufficient for personhood,
We
as
got
we
him.
just explained.
Oh,
Do you think
so-
that declaring victory after we explained in great detail
so
why this is
no,
a
because
losing
his-
position
no,
is
no,
going to
no,
do
hang on,
anything
hang
for
on,
you?
hang
Do you
on.
think like
You just
attempting to
used it-
declare victory after
You've
I've
gone to-
already
you-
explained
you're
to you why an
reaching. You
organism
had to
isn't a
reach all the
person?
way to You've had to stoop as low as conjoined
Sorry,
twins.
wait, do you think that this is in any way, shape, or form like a contradiction? This is literally the view that I've been laying out. I can pull up the whiteboard and explain to you
I'll tell you
exactly how
I'll
this
tell
is
you
like
what it
literally just
contradicts.
the view that I
I'll tell you what
believe.
it contradicts.
The
It
view is
contradicts
like
the fact
super
that you don't
straightforward.
believe
It's that
that
if organism
embryos
was
are
identical to
sentient
personhood, then
beings.
conjoined twins would be one person. Conjoined twins are not one person. Therefore, organismhood is not identical to personhood.
And
That's
organisms
the
are
view
not
that I've been defending this entire time.
organisms
Yeah,
sentient.
my personhood didn't start at conception.
Is your organism sentient?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd. Yeah. My organism does have that property at this point. Yeah.
Sentient. Okay.
Yeah.
So conception is sentient, right?
No.
It's not.
Conception is not sentient. No.
Why is it not sentient?
Because it lacks a mind.
So the people in a coma. So the people with brain damage,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
So they're not humans in a coma.
Oh, first of all, I think that even the embryo is a human. But second of all, after you
it is a
establish a
human then.
personal identity by having a mind in the first place,
You've changed your mind.
that's when. Whoa, calm down there, bud. A human is just a
changed your
person that's a descendant of Homo erectus that is neither Denisovan nor Neanderthal.
So it's a human being. It is a person. So if I
This
do
guy's all
kill
over
you-
the place. He can't find the
No,
contradiction in my
I'm-
view.
You're all over the place.
Whoa,
So if I do
calm
kick
down
you,
there. You sound upset.
So if I, because I'm excited because
You sound excited.
just-
You should take a deep breath.
if I kicked your girlfriend in the stomach, you said earlier. that it
Oh,
wouldn't be a
and I
human.
slammed him at light speed at this point, which is why
You
he's
thought
still
you
stuck
did,
30
but it's-
minutes ago.
you thought you did,
This
but
guy's
it's
experiencing
backfired.
time dilation, which is why
backfired.
he's still stuck in the past, whereas we're all in the present.
It's
You know, we're 30
backfired.
minutes into the future, and this guy can only pivot back. All he wants to do is pivot in a periodic
Gotcha.
orbit where he gets the fuck kicked out of him on one
Gotcha.
point, so he pivots to another point, gets the fuck kicked
I
out of him on that
haven't
point, so he
pivoted.
pivots
We've
to a
just-
third
no, you've
point,
been
gets
caught
the
out.
fuck
This is
kicked
what's
out of him on
happened.
that point, so he pivots to a
thought
fourth
you were
point, and then
clever.
pivots back to the first point again. You know, he just
So
gets
it's
like
not-
obliterated.
is it
He
a
wants to
person?
keep
Is
on
it a
getting
person?
obliterated in a periodic
You-
orbit.
I think the issue is you're confused.
I think the issue
And
is
the
that
reason
you
you're
don't know the first thing about basic logic, which is why you were incapable
yeah, sure.
of tracking a syllogism, why you ended up affirming a contradiction, because in your haughty fit of
Sure.
rage, you said,
Well, I
I
didn't
reject all the
actually.
premises, leading to a direct contradiction, which you then had to walk back.
But the reason I was saying that is because I was trying to break down for you and for others just what I believed.
Well, you could tell me
didn't-
what you believe by rejecting a premise. But you don't believe that an
Well, a
organism,
premise has
you
to
don't
be
think one
rejected in order
organism
for
is
mine
one
to be
person, though,
affirmed,
right?
Of course. But of course, something has to be
Wait, sorry, do you think that
rejected
one organism is one person?
in most, apart from with the situation that you've said there.
So
no,
it's
not-
okay, wait, do you have a universal standard for personhood and moral value?
Yeah,
And what is it?
God's laws.
Oh, sure. Except we've established that those are subjective, they're not absolute.
Of course, they're absolute. Do you believe in absolutes?
I do, yeah, but okay, wait. So let's say that I'm a satanic or masochist and I like suffering. What reason would I
Yes.
have to do what God tells me to?
Because he's your God and he's your creator. That's
Okay.
why.
Why does that give me a reason to do what he tells me to?
Because he's your creator. He's in charge.
Do you think that there's something intrinsically good about listening to your creator?
Of course.
And does that intrinsic good come from the fact that God said it? Or does that intrinsic good exist independently of God saying it?
It comes from God saying it.
Oh, that's circular then. So you're saying that the moral authority for why it's good to listen to what God says is because God said that you should listen to what God says. That's circular.
So,
Circular arguments are false. They're
Why?
unjustified.
why are they? Not always.
They're unjustified insofar as in order to
No,
believe the
it's not-
conclusion, you would already
they're
need to
justified
believe in
in
the
your mind.
conclusion.
It's justified in your mind, not in mine.
They're unjustified insofar as you end with the conclusion that you started with.
Not to me, they're not.
Oh, okay. That's probably because you have like a double-digit IQ.
Maybe.
Okay.
But that just shows that your thinking is off as well. Because I can say the same about you.
Nuh-uh.
I can say, well, you're stupid. And just because you
Well,
you don't
between the
like
two of
way-
us, you're the one who accepts circular arguments, so.
Okay. So but it doesn't mean it's wrong, does it? By your standards, it might
It
be.
means it's unjustified.
Why?
It can't possibly garner.
According
So,
to
okay.
who's just on whose scale of justice?
Yeah, well, on everybody's scale,
Everybody's,
circular
we're not
arguments are
Christians.
unjustified, and there's
We're
a
not-
very simple reason for that. Either
Well,
you already believed the conclusion or
you
you
said
did not
everyone, but
already
I
believe the
wait
conclusion.
there. You said
If
everyone,
you
but that was wrong.
already
That's not
believed the conclusion, then you didn't get any justification from the circular argument. And if you did not already believe the conclusion, then you likewise didn't get any justification for the circular argument because you reject it.
But you said
You just
everyone, and
reject the
that's not
premise that contains the conclusion in it. So that means that a circular
according to
argument couldn't
your way of
possibly
thinking.
lead to
But your way of thinking
justification
is
for a
skewed.
belief.
So it's like me saying the same thing to you. Do you believe in the Big Bang?
Wow, what a W pivot. Got, and it's the periodic orbit I'm talking about. Got slammed on one issue,
Because
pivots to the
no,
next, gets
I've
slammed on the
admitted,
next, gets pivoted to the or pivot to
I'm
the next,
happy believing.
slammed on the next, pivot to the next, and then
No,
pivot
I
back
said
to the
I'm
first
happy
one.
to believe.
You're
Hang
you're
on, I
pivoting
said
to
I'm
like an
happy to
hour
believe.
ago.
I'm happy
This
to
guy
believe that
this guy's
I
pivot
believe
to
in
30
circular
minutes ago
reasoning
didn't
when it
work,
comes
so
to
he's
God.
playing the tape back even further. He wants to go an hour back.
Okay, I'm happy to believe by faith, right, that Jesus is God and what he said was true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's not a faith belief.
Okay.
It is a faith belief, and I believe that I've experienced God,
Mm-hmm.
right, and through the Holy Spirit, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, and whether it's okay, circular reasoning. That's my thinking. God is true because His word is true. Sure, I'm happy to accept that, but you have to accept from the same standard that when you say about the Big Bang, was it observed? No,
We're still observing it.
but the actual explosion wasn't observed.
It's
right?
not an explosion, and we see the universe
What was the
continuing to
bang?
expand.
Okay. Let's be technical then, if you want to. What was the bang?
The Big Bang is still happening. I don't know if you're aware of that.
And
to be clear, before
what
coming to like
happened?
such a strong conclusion, like I don't believe in the Big Bang, like I think that's a bunch of rubbish. You could have looked into it a little bit first to know that one, it's not an explosion, and two, it's still happening.
Okay, what was it then?
It's still happening. It's the rapid expansion of the universe.
You're telling me what's happening.
Yeah, it's
but
the
you're not
rapid
telling me
expansion of the
What
universe.
happened? What happened when it banged? What is the Big Bang? What was the bang?
I just explained this to you. Can you repeat back to me what I just said?
Sorry, I was talking.
Yeah, you were getting a little bit excited. Let's just calm down. You're the most enthusiastic person I think I've ever talked to. I've never seen somebody more enthusiastic than you in terms of like getting slammed, right? You're super excited to get blown out on like a point that you got blown out on like an hour ago too.
The science in my school showed us in the textbooks that the Big Bang was an explosion that started the universe. Of course, it's false. Pseudoscience changes all the time.
I don't think anybody's ever claimed that the Big Bang is an explosion other than Christians. Could you, as a matter of fact, could you find me a single scientist that would describe it as an explosion?
Maybe the guy that invented it.
Like who? Would he describe it as an explosion?
Well, it made a Big Bang.
Let's check.
Whatever it was, it made a Big Bang. Hence the name Big Bang.
Discovered
if not an explosion,
the Big Bang.
then what was it? Two pieces of wood slamming together?
Lamentaire. How did he characterize it?
Wasn't it like particles smashing together or something? I don't know.
No, you're confused.
Go on. No. It's all. I'm confused.
Describes Big Bang as an explosion. No, he didn't say that.
Okay, what is the Big Bang?
Yeah, the Big Bang is just a rapid expansion of the universe.
Which started at what?
I don't think the universe had a beginning. I think the universe always existed.
Why is it named after a noise?
I think that it got the name based on like a radio show. Like there was somebody who called it the Big Bang in a radio show, and then the name stuck.
Okay. So,
like the person who developed the idea didn't describe it as the Big Bang.
Okay, so it's a rapid expansion, right? But what did it expand from?
A hot, dense state.
Sorry?
A hot, dense state.
A heightened state.
A hot, dense state.
What was creating the heat?
That's just energy.
Where did that? Okay. Energy from what?
Energy always existed.
But what was creating the heat?
The energy.
Which energy?
The energy that always existed.
Okay, who observed that?
It's in the cosmic microwave background radiation.
No. Who observed it?
Yeah, we can observe the cosmic microwave background radiation.
I don't believe they have, but who observed
You don't think
that?
we've observed? Okay, I'll show you a picture of it.
Oh, of course, CGI.
Oh, of course. Oh, sure. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you know
here we
that they
go.
didn't? Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Who do you think developed this? Like with CGI?
Develop what?
Like who do you think is responsible for the development?
NASA.
Okay. How do you know that NASA didn't replace the Bible with their power to manufacture all this shit?
Because it contradicts their beliefs.
Yeah, but how do you know that they didn't do this for some nefarious purpose?
For what? What purpose?
For some purpose that's beyond our understanding that only NASA knows about. How do you know that they didn't replace the Bible?
Because NASA only existed for about 60 years?
Oh, but how do you know that the history isn't manufactured by NASA?
What history?
The history of NASA isn't manufactured by NASA to mislead you.
Okay. So if NASA wanted us to believe in God and not the Big Bang, then they would give us God and not the Big Bang.
Yeah, but how do you know that they don't have some nefarious reason to keep you Christian? How do you know that they didn't manufacture the Bible for some higher order purpose that you couldn't possibly fathom?
Because the Bible gives us the best morals to live by.
Oh, like the owning slaves and like the genocide?
Well, they're not for you, are they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the best morals include owning slaves and genocide.
They weren't for you, and they were for people at certain
No, they
contexts.
don't.
At
I don't
certain
follow
time.
biblical ethics. Biblical ethics are stupid.
Which ones?
The ones where you have to do what God tells you to. The ones where you can sell your daughter into slavery. The ones where if you work on a Sunday, you should be stoned to death. You know,
Why
do
are
you
they
think
bad?
that, let's say that your neighbor, you're a doctor, and your neighbor breaks his leg, but it's
Yeah.
the Sabbath. Do you think that it's immoral to set his leg right then and there?
Well, Jesus came to change that, didn't he?
Does he say to keep the Sabbath holy still?
Jesus said, if there's a donkey in a ditch, pull it out.
But does he say keep the Sabbath holy?
What does holy mean?
It means don't work on it.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Holy
does.
means- no, it
That's
doesn't.
exactly
Holy
what it means. That's why they
holy
killed the
means-
one dude for picking up
Yeah.
sticks. It's because
Holy
he
means
worked on the
set apart.
Saturday.
Holy means set apart. Google it if you don't believe me.
Yeah,
Holy doesn't mean
it
what
literally
you just said.
tells you what you should be doing on the Sabbath,
the
which is
Sabbath
not
holy, it
working.
means-
It tells you
Yes.
explicitly, don't work on the Sabbath, rest on the Sabbath.
That's fine.
Okay.
And Jesus makes it clear that if your donkey's in a ditch and it's on the Sabbath, you're allowed to pull it out. So, like, just because there was religious people at the time,
Wait, did God change his mind about that?
is in what?
Because they killed the one dude for picking up sticks on the Sabbath. Did God change his mind about whether or not you're
Did
allowed
God
to work
tell
on the
them to kill
Sabbath?
that one dude for picking up sticks on the Sabbath?
Yeah, they killed the guy for picking up sticks.
They killed the guy. Where does it say God said kill the guy who picked up sticks?
Yeah, I got you.
Go on.
Pick up sticks, verse
And is picking up sticks the same?
Numbers 15, 32
As
through
helping a
36.
dying child or
Oh,
whatever.
fuck. He realized that I'm going to be able to provide the verse for him.
No, go on. I
Yeah,
just, yeah.
Numbers
I just wanna
15,
know.
32 through 36. When the Israelites were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. Those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses, Aaron, and the whole congregation. They put him in custody because it was not clear what should be done to him. Then the Lord said to Moses, the man shall be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him outside the camp. The whole congregation
Okay.
brought him outside the camp and stoned him to death, just as the Lord has commanded Moses. You probably just haven't made it to the book of Numbers yet, which is why you aren't familiar with
that's
that
fine.
verse.
That's fine. No, I'm not.
Was that
So,
morally perfect? Was that a morally perfect punishment?
If God has said so, yes.
Okay, you think killing a dude for picking up sticks is morally perfect.
Maybe
Tell
it
tell
was
me
more-
more about how the Bible is the best ethics.
God is a just judge, so he knows.
of course.
He knows the heart of the thing is, God knows the heart of the man picking up the
Yeah.
sticks. We don't.
Yeah, he had the Adolf
Wait.
Hitler heart.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you could go back in time and kill Adolf Hitler as a child, would you kill him?
I don't know. Not
don't
sure.
know.
I think
You're not
there's
sure.
reasons to and reasons
course you're
not
not
to.
sure.
So, for
Okay.
example, I think that like a reason to is because the lives of the 6 million Jewish people weigh extremely heavily. You have really strong reason to save these
Okay.
people's lives.
Sure you do.
Also, Adolf Hitler is innocent. You know, he's an innocent person.
Sure.
So,
What would be the best thing to do?
I don't know. I think that you have
Would the best
plausible
thing, wait, hang on.
reasons to
Would the
do
best
either.
way be? Would the best thing to be is to kill Adolf Hitler and make sure not just 6 million Jews, but a whole world war doesn't take place where millions of lives are taken?
The problem is that the action is by
Hang
its
on.
very nature unjust.
Hang
Because
on.
you're giving someone something they
Is it
don't deserve.
No. It's unjust if you don't know the future.
Even if you do know the future, he's still innocent.
But he's not innocent.
He is. What crime has he committed?
He's
What crime has
yeah.
baby Hitler committed?
Okay, it's not okay. I get what you're saying. He's innocent in that moment, but
Yep.
you know that he's going to do something that's far out, evil, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So,
But he's
because
innocent, so he doesn't deserve a punishment.
I know, but you know something about the future. This is the problem. There's context to this.
Yep.
It's not you just look
But
at
he's
a
still
child.
innocent.
Yes, so, but you know he's not going to be.
Because then it's unjust. A just punishment punishes the guilty, not the innocent. So the dilemma is that you do have a really strong reason to save all these Jewish people, but the cost for doing it is to do something unjust.
But we're all born guilty because we're all born in sin, right?
That's your presupposition, not mine.
Okay. But does that mean neither of us can get anywhere like that because it's just an agreed to disagree thing?
Well, you have to do an internal critique. You got to work in my worldview to find like some absurdity in it.
Of course, but
I'm open to the possibility that killing baby Hitler is the right thing to do, and I'm open to the possibility that it's the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
I think you have
But the
really
moment
good moral
you
reasons
step
to
into
do
good and
either.
evil, you step into the theism way of thinking.
Oh,
You step
well,
into my worldview.
to be honest,
you
I
get
think you
into
should
what-
probably kill like lots of babies if you're a theist.
But
They
the
all
thing
go to
is,
heaven.
it's funny how you say God is immoral for killing a man for disobeying God, which I know you don't see sin as serious, but sin is serious to a holy God because your understanding of sin is low and your understanding of God is low. Therefore, when you see perfection versus imperfection, it doesn't budge you because you are viewing it from a sinful nature yourself, right?
No.
Because you have a low view of sin. And a
Do you
low
think
view of
that
God.
sin deserves torture forever?
You have a low view of sin.
Do you think sin deserves torture forever?
Why are we being tortured forever?
I'm asking you, do you think sin deserves torture forever? That if you're a sinner, then you deserve torture forever?
Who am I to make these decisions?
I'm just asking, do you think it's deserved?
So, if God sends us to hell for being disobedient to God, is God just in doing that? Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking you, do you think that the crime sinning is deserving of the punishment torture forever?
Because sin is
Okay.
eternally
And do you think
offensive.
that babies have sin when they're born?
No.
Oh, so you don't think we're born into sin?
No.
Oh. Interesting. Do you think that Jesus got rid of that?
Got rid of what?
Do you think that Jesus got rid of everybody being born into sin?
No. I think that Jesus takes the price upon himself so we can be forgiven for our sins and he can be punished because when a crime is committed, there needs to be a punishment.
Wait, if you don't think that we're born into sin, then why are some babies born with cancer?
Because of humans.
Okay,
I believe there's cures for cancer.
that's
we
great.
hide.
Why were babies born with cancer like 1,000 years
Probably
ago?
because of consequences of environment, parents.
So 1,000 years
water.
ago, what would have been the consequences?
The same things. It depends. We don't know if kids had cancer back then like they do
Yeah,
now.
we do.
You know, how
There
do
are
we?
records, historical records of it,
Of what?
of people with cancer, of kids with cancer.
Name one. I've never. Go on.
For
what do you mean?
example, there's records of cancer going all the way back to ancient Egypt,
How many years?
like 3,000.
So who documented that?
If you want, we can go and look through the case.
Well, obviously you don't know off by heart, but that's fine. 'cause
Earliest mention. Wait, sorry. What's the name of the manuscript of which the Book of John is derived from? Can you tell me what the exact name of the manuscript is?
No.
Oh,
As in,
okay, cool, yeah.
Antioch.
Oh, Antioch. Sure. So let's
it
fact check
I don't know.
that.
See,
Earliest
who's
John
pivoting?
Book of John earliest
Who's pivoting?
manuscript.
Who's pivoting?
Well, we'll go back to exactly what we were
Who's
typing in
pivoting?
a second
no,
ago.
you changed the subject
Book of
because
John.
you it's fine because people can see you changing the
Earliest
subject.
manuscript. It's
And
going to be the Book of
cancer
Antioch?
also.
No, it's Papyrus 52. Sorry, bud. That's the wrong answer. Okay,
fine.
earliest mention of
That's fine.
cancer. We'll go back to it. So you lied about the Bible, by the way?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, you did.
I guessed. It was a
Oh,
guess.
sorry. So you just took a guess at it. Okay. And do you think that, like, the fact that you don't know it by heart is, like, some sort of like sick dunk against you?
No.
Okay, sure. In the same way, you would say that it's like probably not worth mentioning the fact
No,
that
but
I
I know
don't
I could
know
find it,
the
so
the
I'm
name
just-
of the guy who's like the earliest person with cancer.
Of course. You hold me to standards that you fail at as well, so let's keep going.
I would never hold you to the standard of name
Oh,
me
you
exactly
sure
who
do.
did this, otherwise I won't accept it. That would be ridiculous.
Go on. Let's just get to the point. You're always skipping.
The
You're
Edwin
going for
Smith papyrus from ancient
things.
Egypt.
Okay.
It's named after Edwin Smith, who bought it in 1862, and it's an Egyptian medical text.
Yeah. And what does it say?
It just goes into detail about medicine, and it describes cancer.
What does it say about cancer and the first patient or whatever? You don't have to get too deep into it. But, you know.
Let's look. It's 634 pages long. Let's find it.
Wow. Okay, well, we can assume that it's true, right? Rather than having to read through all that, let's assume it's true. It could still be down to negligence of the parent. The parent could have been an alcoholic, right?
Okay. Do you have any evidence that, or actually, I have no idea. Is that true? Does alcoholism in parents cause cancer?
Causes liver cancer, doesn't it?
To the children?
Well, I think things, if you're pregnant, maybe. Because you said if you're born with cancer, right?
Parents leads to cancer in children. Can't find anything that claims that.
Okay. It could have been environment. It could have been all sorts of. What causes cancer today?
Mutations.
From what?
Mutagens.
What causes the mutations?
Mutagens.
Okay. From don't be too technical, but what would you say a cause in it? Like, for example, I could
Lots of
say
things.
easily, smoking could cause lung cancer, for example,
Agree.
right?
Yeah. Because
correct
it's a
in saying
mutagen.
Okay, right. So you don't believe in a God, right? Who's responsible for cancer?
Mutagens.
So if God is real, why are mutagens still not real?
If God is real.
If
So
God
is real.
why? Sorry, let me repeat. If God is real, then why can't mutagens still be the cause of cancer?
If God is real, why can't
Yes.
mutagens be the cause of cancer?
Yes, why does God
because
have to
an
be the
all
blame?
good God wouldn't allow mutagens that cause such horrible diseases. Let's say that there's a button in front of you.
Hang on. You've just opened up a can of worms there.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is,
let's say there's
if
a
there is
button in front of you.
if there-
Pushing that button makes all cancer instantly disappear. Would you push that button?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I'm going to explain now.
You're a sick fuck.
No. Let me explain why.
That was a horrific answer.
No. Because let me explain why. Because I think some things are in place for our bodies. Cancer's not a bad thing in and of itself. It's actually a way of curing the body. Did you know that? The cancer itself is a response that the body gives. Like, so if you're
very
smoking,
insightful, yeah.
well, hang on, let me finish, because we've been taught different.
Should we stop trying to cure it?
We can cure it. It can be cured.
And is
but
that
they don't
good?
tell-
Is it good that you think we can cure it? Is that good that we can cure it?
Well, you're not cured. The tumor
Would
itself
it be good
is
to cure it?
You can let me finish. The cancer itself isn't the issue, is it? The cancer is a response to an issue. So if I smoke, for example, and I get lung cancer, that's because my body is trying to fight against the fact I'm smoking. So the cancer is a bodily response of trying to save me. And when you have tumors, do you know what a tumor is?
That's just false, right? Cancer comes from
No.
mutagens. When the cell
When you have a
mutates without control, it can't stop replicating.
Yeah. So when
It comes from mutations. It's
then
not
the
like a
body
limit on anything.
And then the body will put it into a tumor, usually, into a pack. The body will collect all the bad cells up. Okay? There's ways.
I don't know enough about cancer, but maybe that could be.
And when you fast, you can cure cancer through fasting.
Gosh, another
what-
one of these.
Well, what happens when you? What happens
Yeah,
when you're
what's
sick?
the sure?
Okay, what happens? I give you the evidence. What happens when you're sick?
Wait, sorry, could I get like a study?
No, I give you evidence that you know yourself.
No, no,
You
no.
don't
I
need
just want like a
you don't
study on
need
it. You're
scientist.
making an incredible claim. Just go ahead and present the study that fasting
It's
cures
a common
cancer.
sense claim. 'Cause
Oh,
when you're ill,
God, all these like stupid low IQ
Well, hang
fucking cancer patients. Bro, just fast.
Okay, I'm going to give you a fact.
Yeah,
When you're
that's
sick,
great. Listen,
But
bud,
what-
I'm gonna need
you
like a
gotta let me
study for
speak.
this claim.
You don't want to speak. Why don't you let me
Just provide the
finish?
study. Just go ahead and provide the study for the claim. The
Is it- you
empirical
only
claim
listen
that
to
you're
stu-
making.
do you
Just give
only
me the
listen to
empirical
studies?
evidence for the
Do
empirical
you only
claim.
listen to scientific studies?
Yeah, I want a scientific study for a claim like
if-
this.
I'm a scientist and I'm giving you my study.
What's your field of science?
What do you, I'm a scientist.
Which
I
one?
do-
What type?
I cover all bases.
Of course. Sure. So could you tell me, for example, could you break down for me what like a for loop is in computer
I'm about
science?
to break down something else that I don't know what a for loop is. Okay.
Okay. Could you tell
Not
me?
all sci-
Could
not
you
all
explain to me
scientists-
what like amino acids are?
Okay. They break down food in the body. Let me get to the point.
That's not true.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. But let me.
What
let
type
me,
of scientist
let-
are you?
You're not going to let me finish him because I
Just
can't
what you-
speak. You're not. Do you want to be educated, or do you want like?
Are you just like a
or do you want to
compulsive
continue
liar?
to live in a lie? I'm trying to help you.
You
here.
keep on lying. You
Well,
claim
no,
to
you
be a
don't let me
scientist. Why would you do
finish.
that?
And the reason you don't let me
Why
finish is
would
'cause
you?
know I'm
Why
about-
would you claim to
every
be a
single time
scientist
I'm
when you
about to
aren't
make a
one?
point. Every single time I'm about to make a point, you cut me off.
What type of scientist are you? Or did you lie?
We're all scientists, to some degree.
Are
'cause we're
you?
all,
Did you lie when you claimed to be a scientist?
No, I am actually. I have got a science and sound degree.
Well, yeah. What's your science degree in?
It's what was it? Music technology and the science of sound.
This is
Okay.
like. This is like a million times worse than an engineer claiming to be a scientist.
So I don't.
This
care,
is
but
like
let me
every
con-
single engineer that describes themselves as a scientist.
You're not gonna let me speak.
You're like a fucking atomic bomb compared to them.
But at least I'm not rude.
That
and
was
at least
incredible.
At least
Oh
I
my
let
God,
you speak.
dude.
Are you gonna let me speak?
Oh my God. Once I
Oh my God. thought you didn't believe in
jerked
God.
off on the
Hang
keyboard,
on, you just said, "Oh
I'm
my God."
basically a scientist.
You just said, "Oh my God." You just said,
You know,
"Oh my God."
I fell asleep once
just said,
in
"Oh
my
my
high
God."
school science class.
You just
I'm
said, "Oh
basically
my
a
God."
scientist.
You just said, "Oh my God."
Why did you
I've
read like the
You just said,
instruction
"Oh my God."
manual for an Arduino.
You just said, "Oh my
I
God."
practically have a science degree.
You just said, "Oh my God."
You can't call yourself a scientist.
Why
you
did
need
you
to
say,
stop
"Oh my
doing
God"?
that.
I thought you didn't have a
Sorry,
God.
wait, what's your dumb
Why?
contention?
I could give you the argument about fasting, but you don't want to listen. So
I just want the
why did you
evidence for
just say-
that.
But I'm about to give it to you, and you won't. Are you going to listen for 30 seconds?
Sure.
Okay.
Just the name of
When
this,
you-
like the DOI would be cool. Just like the name of the study, please.
It's not a study
Oh,
given by.
well, I don't give a fuck about the claim if it's not a study.
It's something you do yourself when you're sick,
Masturbate?
probably. But
Do you think that's
when
the
you're
cure for
s-
cancer?
no, listen. Well, okay, it's called
Wine until my
ketosis.
girlfriend comes and
Have you
makes
heard
me
of
soup?
ketosis? Have you heard of ketosis?
I've heard of it.
What is ketosis?
No idea.
So you don't know what ketosis is?
I don't know what it is. No.
So even if I was to start telling you about things, you're not going to understand about
Yeah,
them
wait, give
anyway,
me the
'cause
stat. I would love to hear the stat. Go for it.
Right. So the point is, after 72 hours of fasting, the genes, or I think it's the cells, start to replenish themselves.
Says who?
Well, according to studies, according to
You
people
know,
who've
you know the
had-
problem with cancer is that there are too many cells, right? The cells replenishing themselves
problem with
isn't good.
Do you know what? You're the type of person that would have smoked because the doctors advertised it.
I'm the type of person that smokes because
Because
it's
science
cool.
said smoking was healthy, you would have said.
I'm
Did you
the
take
type
your
of
co- I bet you
person
took your
that
COVID
smokes because
Did
I
you
see
take
my
your
friends
COVID jab?
doing it and they look
Did you
sick as
take it-
fuck
did-
with that
did you take-
cigarette. And
did you
chat,
take your COVID
I want
jabs?
all the thousands of people watching
you
this
take your COVID jabs?
to take a sec and picture
take your
this.
COVID jabs?
Chat, a nice mentholated cigarette.
Okay.
How does
Did you
that
take your
sound,
co-
chat?
Did you take the COVID jab?
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Sure
it
you did.
again. taken
You
it
still take your
taken
boo-
it
are
3
you
or
still-
4 times, and I'll take it
Why
again.
not? Why only 3 or 4 times? Why haven't you kept taking your boosters?
Because I take
Like,
it as soon as they tell me to.
Do you?
I do.
So every time.
Yeah. I think
Do you know
killing
the issue?
grandmas is bad, actually. Clearly, you disagree. And in the end, the person with the
okay.
ethical system, the person who actually takes the responsibility and well-being of others is me, not you.
But
You have
why
no
did you take the
problem,
COVID jab?
no matter
Oh,
who
because
you
the government
kill,
said
no
it.
matter
Because
who
the
your
government tell you
refusal
what to
to
do.
vaccinate yourself kills. That doesn't concern you at all. You don't care that you
Why do you want to
spread
kill us? Because
infectious
the
diseases
government
far and
told
wide. That
you.
doesn't bother you, but it
The
bothers
government.
me, which is
Because the
why I take
government
steps
told
to
you.
prevent that. Which is
Because the
why,
government
as an
told.
atheist, I have much better ethics than you. It's because you've deluded yourself in your fairy tales into
Because the
thinking that it's
government.
fine to kill a
Okay.
bunch of people as long as they're
You
not
think.
you.
Who told you that? The government.
Well, it's just basic epidemiology.
According to the government.
It's just basic epidemiology.
Yeah, according to your
No,
government.
according to basic
Your
epidemiology,
science is given
you
to you by the
could
government.
literally do like computer simulations on this. Let's say you have nodes and there's like a probability that a certain property spreads from one node to the next. Lowering that probability is going to be a key step
Yeah,
in
'cause they said
actually
they can
preventing it
know
from
it.
spreading like population
Yeah,
wide.
sure.
It's
Sure.
literally just like obvious if you think about
Is
it.
that why people are dying from the jab and getting blood clots left, right, center, strokes, heart attacks?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you have a study for that?
Yeah, go and have a look at some of the doctors that
Yeah,
have been
what's the name of the
speaking. They've
study?
been censored. I'd have to get hold of them.
Oh,
but
he
I
has no
can't.
fucking idea. He's making up as you go.
Wait there, you just had this argument against me with the manuscripts,
Yeah,
right?
you can. You're more than
just 'cause I
welcome
can't
to go ahead
them
and
right
take
now,
a
it
second
doesn't
and
mean
find
I-
the study.
Well, it's probably not going to come up on Google.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Do you want to DuckDuckGo it?
No, because we got censored. Did you
Oh,
not know
sure.
that?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to go? Do you want to go on tour?
So
you
we
want
yeah, of
to
course. So
pull up
weren't-
tour and then
so
give it a
we
look?
weren't censored.
Yeah.
So we wasn't censored.
So
no.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Where's
So
the
there wasn't
study?
a big
Where is
thing about
it?
Mark Zuckerberg all over
Where's
Facebook.
the study?
Yeah, because they were being
Gosh,
people.
I
being
know Mark
banned.
Zuckerberg's very evil. He's very mean to you. He took away the study. He said, "No more study. I'm taking away the
And the
study,"
big
and then he
case
ripped
with-
the
and
study
this is
away
why
from
they-
you.
and this is why we
I'm
have
so
X
sorry
now, so
that
people can
the
have
the fucking
free
like Google
speech.
CEO
'Cause
was
people
like,
wanna, like,
"Oh,
free speech
no more
during
study for
COVID.
you. You've lost your study
No free-
privileges. Very bad." And then
there's
he
no free
yanked the
speech, was
study
there?
away from you. I'm
There
so
was no
sorry. I
free
really
speech
feel for
during
your plight.
COVID.
Do you want to provide the study?
During COVID, they took free
Bro,
speech
I'm
away.
so
It's
sorry.
known.
Pipe the
Yeah.
fuck down. Do you have the name of the study or no?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you want to go find it?
Find what?
The study.
No, because it'll take time.
Oh, well, you can take time.
Yeah, but I'd rather talk because.
Well, wait. Let's just get the study.
Well, I can find it for another time.
No. Find it right now.
Find what right now? The
Find
study
it. Yeah, find the
for-
study right now,
Okay.
please.
Right. Well, the first one is they removed AstraZeneca.
What's the name of this? I just want a study name, please.
Okay. I don't know the study name.
Just find it. Just
It's
take a
'cause
second
the,
and find
the
it.
people who do the study are the people who want you to have the jab.
Just find the
I don't think
study.
I don't think you quite get it.
Just find the study, bud.
I don't think you get it. Okay.
I don't give a fuck about your like uneducated ramblings. I just want the study.
What's the? I think it's the yellow report card.
Is this a study?
I do believe so. COVID vaccine.
And are you willing to accept what the yellow report card says?
Yeah, the yellow report card is people are to a degree because it's government, isn't
Oh,
it?
to a degree. Oh no.
read it,
I
well,
agree
read
with
it.
it when it agrees with me, and I disagree with it when it disagrees with me.
Well,
You know,
these are
when
not-
it's the stuff that I agree
these
with,
are-
yeah,
these-
fuck yeah,
no.
that's the real stuff. And when
I
it's the
can't get
stuff
to
I
the
don't agree
studies,
with,
'cause the studies I got, my studies have been removed. I've
no.
told you this already.
Oh,
told you
okay.
the
So
studies
is this
that I
a
believe-
wait?
the
Just a yes or
studies
a
that I-
no?
listen,
Yes or
my
no? Is
videos-
this a reliable source?
The videos that I go to.
Yes or no? Is this
what?
a reliable source?
Is what a reliable source?
The source that you cited, is it reliable?
It's the first source I could find for you that
Is
reports
it
the
reliable?
injuries.
Is it a reliable source?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you want to find me a source that you find reliable?
I can't give you one because they've removed them, okay?
Okay, yeah. They were so reliable that they had to start suppressing them. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course they suppress the truth. You don't believe they suppress the truth?
Why would they?
Because they have a high agenda to enslave us all.
Oh, source?
Look around. Wars,
Okay, I'm looking around.
poverty,
Okay,
children starving to death.
okay.
Is that not evidence that we're run by corruption?
So
Epstein's Island.
could you
Oh, hang on, I'm not even
walk me
finished. I'm just getting
through?
started.
I know you're not
Epstein's
finished, but I
Island.
will keep talking over you because I
Epstein's
want to,
Island.
and more so because I can. So I understand that there are children starving to death. How does the fact that there are some children starving to death mean that we're slaves and that they're trying to enslave us?
Some children found, mate, you're run by a Federal Reserve in America.
I don't think that's true. We actually have three branches of
why
government.
don't you Google
I don't think
that?
maybe
Why
the
don't you
Federal
Google
Reserve falls
Federal
under the
Reserve?
executive.
What is the Federal Reserve? What
They
is the
set
Federal
like
Reserve?
rates for things like bonds and such.
Who owns
And
the
they
Federal
also
Reserve?
they also do like Keynesian things, like set like certain targets for inflation.
Who are the Rothschilds? Do you know who they are?
Nope.
Wow.
Wow.
Go and Google the Rothschilds,
Okay.
and then tell me. Then you'll educate yourself on who they are.
Yeah. You should look up like a single argument for God. So maybe you. I honestly think it's like a bold move to say to have the word ministries in your
giving-
life and then like lose
Okay,
all of the
wait.
arguments on the Bible like instantly. Like you lost on the Bible so hard that you've spent the majority of this conversation talking about side issues.
Well,
I mean, you
no,
should
I
probably
think
like
we
remove the word ministries from your name at that point.
I don't think so. I think that evidence for God is creation. You don't believe in creation,
I think that the universe always existed, correct?
of course, but you have no evidence for that.
Yes, I do.
And when
The quantum
when I
eternity
proposed-
theorem.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Okay, I can give you a better one.
don't.
Causes are before or simultaneous to their effects. That means that all causes happen in time. Time's in the universe. Therefore,
Right.
all causes are in the universe.
And
Which
where's
means
the
that the
proof?
universe itself is uncaused. Therefore, the
Where's
universe
the
always
proof? Where's the
existed.
proof? Okay, so where's the proof?
That was the proof.
That what your opinion? Where's the study?
The proof is that all causes are before or simultaneous
the
to their
study?
effects.
Where's the papers?
It's a
Where's the
metaphysical
proof?
claim, bud. It's not a scientific
is it-
claim.
is
It's a
it-
metaphysical
it's-
claim. It's a
so
philosophical
another
proof.
So you believe in another
It's a deductive
theory.
proof.
Another theory. It's another
It's
supposition.
not a theory. Wait, do you agree that causes are before or simultaneous
No,
to
no,
their
no.
effects?
Is it fact?
Are
Is it-
causes
is it
before or
factual?
simultaneous
Is it
to their
factual?
effects?
Is
It is
it
factual.
factual?
It's a fact, yeah.
Okay, why
Is
why
it
the
before
scientists-
or
why the
causes before or
scientists-
simultaneous to their
Why the
effects?
scientists smarter than you disagree
Is
with
it?
you then?
Oh, I don't give a fuck. That's an appeal to authority. Do you
okay.
agree or disagree that causes are before or simultaneous to their effects?
But you appeal to authority because you always want to go
Dodge.
to the science.
Dodge.
Every time I say
It's gonna be
something to you,
dodge
you say,
number
"Where's
one.
the
Let's get try
scientific
number
study?"
two. Do you think causes are before or
Every
simultaneous to
time
their
I
effects?
say something to you and I try to give you evidence.
Dodge.
No,
Dodge.
so you appeal to authority.
Dodge. That's
Where's
dodge
the
number
science?
two.
Well,
Don't
COVID
dodge the
jab.
question. Just lock in an
COVID jab.
answer. Are causes before or simultaneous to their effects? Just answer.
That's funny.
Yes or
You're
no?
funny. When I said about the COVID
Yes
jab,
or
you
no?
appealed straight to
Dodge.
authority.
Dodge.
I'm not dodging. I'm
This
not
guy's
listening.
Wait. So was the answer yes or no?
For what? No, I asked you a question. You didn't answer it.
For what? He says, I've asked the question 3 times. You throdged the question.
Because
Is the
we
answer
made
yes
a
or no?
point. For what? Go on, ask the
Yeah.
question again.
Are causes before or simultaneous to their effects?
Our causes before.
Yeah, sure. Perfect.
Their
That
effect.
means that all causes are in time, which means that the universe itself cannot have a cause because time is in the universe. There you go. You just conceded.
Wait there. Sorry, because
Yeah,
That is a big
I'll
mouth-
run it
that
back
is a
one
big-
more
that is a
time.
big
And I
mouthful.
know,
That
like,
is
you
a
just
big
got
mouthful.
slammed, you're concussed, so I'll run it by you
No,
one more time.
I wasn't
You
listening
just
properly.
conceded that all causes are before their effects, which means that you have
Okay.
conceded that all causes are in time, which means you've conceded that the universe itself is not caused because time is in the universe. So all causes are in the
Well, of course it-
universe.
No,
So
no,
the
no,
universe
'cause
isn't caused, you just conceded the entire argument.
cause is caused.
Cause is caused. He's
God is
concussed. He's
outside-
there's
God
like
is-
you
God
can
is
he's like the
outside of it.
boxer that just got knocked out. He has
God-
like the cartoons like spinning around his head. All he can say is cause is caused.
No. God created the universe.
No, he
but God
didn't.
is not
Causes
in-
are before their effects. God's not in time.
God is the beginning of God.
Wait,
God is the,
wait. So God's
God is
in
the-
time?
God is the creator of beginnings.
No,
I
he
should
isn't.
say.
If causes
Yes,
are
he is.
before their effects, then
No, they're
God
not.
isn't the cause of anything.
Causes are so God is the creator of causes.
Is God before things?
Yes, everything.
So then he's in time.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Why
To
is
be
he?
before things puts you in the timeline.
Okay, then he's eternal.
He's in time.
He's before. Well, the
So
Bible says.
then God didn't
Well,
create the
hang on,
universe. He's in
The
time.
Bible says he is the beginning.
So he's in time.
He is. He was, and he is to come.
Sure. So then God is in time.
Right. So he can put himself into
He's the
time
what?
if he wants to, which he does. But he can also be outside of time.
Not if he wants to cause things.
He can be both.
Are you both inside and out of time?
Sure.
Oh, a contradiction, of course.
Well, no, not really, because it depends on how you observe time and how you observe God.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a contradiction.
God is three persons, right?
So wait, so you just affirm a contradiction?
Why?
Insofar as you're saying that he's both in time and out of time, that would mean that he both has future states and doesn't.
Well, I'm about to explain. If you didn't interrupt.
Yeah, go for
So
it.
God is three persons. He dwells within the realm of eternity, right? But if at one point, which we believe happened, Christ wanted to become a man and step inside of his creation, sort of like if you have Bill Gates stepping inside of his computer, from outside of his computer,
Yeah.
he's put himself in, but his brother and his sister are still in the room, if you like, of the bedroom, but he puts himself into the computer.
Yeah. So he was timeless and unchanging, and then he changed to being in time?
Say that again? He was timeless
So
and
he was
unchanging.
timeless and thereby unchanging, and then he put himself into time?
The Son put himself into time.
Yeah, so the sun was unchanging, and then he changed to being in time?
It speaks about the Son taking on
Is that
flesh.
correct?
The Spirit.
The sun was timeless and unchanging, and then he changed himself to be in time?
I'm going to answer you, but I don't think you can
Is
understand
that
it.
yes?
It's not a yes or no answer. I'm about to answer, though. So, when the Son takes on flesh, the Spirit of the Son is still eternal, but the flesh that he takes on comes under time. Does that make sense to you, even if you don't agree?
No, not at all.
No, exactly, because you can't see things from a spiritual perspective.
No, that sounds like gibberish. Do you
But it's
believe in
called-
divine simplicity by any chance?
The problem is,
Dodge.
when you haven't got the Holy Spirit, things in the Bible won't make sense to you.
Dodge.
Well, no, because
You're
other
dodging.
Christians are saying. Do other Christians say the same thing?
You're dodging. Do you
other
believe in
Christians
divine
say the same
simplicity?
thing? Do other Christians say the same thing?
Do you believe in divine simplicity?
Okay, I'll answer that if you answer this. Do other Christians believe in the same thing?
Yeah,
Or still use
incoherently.
this? Well, isn't it funny how that me in the UK has the same feeling and opinion than someone in Africa and someone like? Why is there so many Christians having this epiphany?
Yeah,
Why do you
because there's a
believe
lot
that?
of stupid
Coincidence?
humans in the world.
Okay, so you think it's down to stupidity?
Yeah, in your case, yeah.
Okay, in my case, but then what about the other people's cases?
It's going to be person to person. You know,
Yeah.
some people just haven't thought about it very much. Some people believe it because they're stupid and scared.
Okay, so
Do you think God changes?
sorry.
Do you think God changes?
There's a yes and no to that. He doesn't change who he is as a being as God, but can he change his mind?
Can
Or
anything
can-
about God change?
Can anything about God change?
Yeah.
The fact that he can change.
So yes?
So he's a God that doesn't change, but if he's a God that does change, then the facts are he's a God that doesn't change changing.
And that's what you believe?
Possibly, but I know the Bible says that God doesn't
Okay.
change.
Well,
I know the Bible says he doesn't change, but
I'll take that as a good stopping point. Anyway,